What are you waiting for?
All right, welcome to another episode of the Paper Dungeon.
I was waiting for the DM to look at me, Grant.
Wow, so good question.
Oh, he's already lagging.
Am I lagging? Oh,
You were a little bit.
I apologize.
It's not your fault.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome back to another episode of Paper Dungeon. We are very, very excited to be playing tonight. As you can see from the very, very sad black hole that is next to me to, let's see, the right of the screen.
I have a name.
I'm not even looking at you, Aaron, technically, if I look this way.
You never do.
Anyway,
well, if you look that way, you're looking away from all of us. So
if I look this way,
there you go.
Right here, this
there.
one, right here.
Yep.
Yeah,
Lydia's not going to be joining us tonight, unfortunately. We do miss her. You'll be sad not having her around, but we are going to continue on with our story.
If we all die,
Before we do that, though, we do have a few announcements to get through. Starting with, I normally would start with Lydia, but because she's not here, we're going to start with Andrew, one of his rare appearances with the announcements.
Yes, it's a sight to behold.
Let's go.
Well, guys, since Lydia isn't here, normally she would say something along the lines of, "Hey, check us out on other social media platforms. We have TikTok, Instagram,
That's scarily accurate.
Twitter, Facebook, but we don't really talk about Facebook. Yeah, if you're not there, check us out there. We have some great content and lots of fun stuff."
Guys, I thought I was the impression guy.
That's
I'm
pretty.
I'm so impressed. Well done.
Pretty accurate.
That was amazing. Thank you, Drew or Lydia, whoever you are. Grant, you'll have our next announcement.
Hey, podcast, YouTube. Grateful for you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Come see us live sometime, Monday nights, 7 p.m. CST. And if you all have a Prime sub, if you have Amazon Prime, you can sub for free. That is what the Prime sub means. So click on that little button and you can help us out for free. Yeah.
Very nice.
Edward out.
Boom, out. Aaron, you have our last announcement.
Friends, enemies, yet to be determined. We have a store, www.thepaperdungeon.com, where we have a merch store, and it's pretty good. You can buy stuff on there. It's good. Lydia also has a store. It's probably better. LydiaCorinne.com, something like that, I think. You can go buy art that she has made or commission art from her. You should do that. Support her. All of the art that you see on stream, character art, overlays, all that is Lydia's stuff. She's very good at her job. We also have a Discord, and if you're not on it, you clearly lie in the second version of Enemy. So get on there if you are. I don't know if Grant, I was phased out. If Grant mentioned Patreon or anything, cool way to support us over there. We will be releasing some of our Patreon content that is for the most part exclusive to subscribers through our Discord.
Did we release
Thank you, Patreoneers? No, we haven't yet. It's my B.
It happens.
There will be an episode on Patreon.
Yes. There is going to be an episode on Patreon. We're going to keep up to date and we're going to do a good job. If you couldn't tell, both Grant and I are sick. So if you see me absolutely slamming menthol gosh dang cough drop.
Gosh darn it.
Even in character.
And I will I'll just be drinking water, and I apologize if I cough sometimes.
You being healthy. You want some
you
want a menthol?
Listen, the TPD mansion is full of sickness right now. So.
It is. But look, we still play D&D. Just like how you can play at home D&D when you're sick. Mm-hmm. This is
you should get all of your friends sick by going and hanging out with them and playing D&D.
Shoot, you're right. That's bad advice. Don't do that.
Share the coke.
Don't play D&D when you're sick. Don't listen
to
me.
Off the rails.
I mean,
look, my mouth is one step ahead of my brain today.
You could still play D&D while you're sick. Just, but like we do it. Yeah, when we're online together.
Or wear the mask. That's the whole point of it, So
yeah. So get ready for a zany episode of half lucid reasonings and something that's probably going to be taken as offensive.
Yeah.
Lydia is not here to protect us, or protect you as the audience.
I'll fill in.
Does not condone.
But I'm also
any.
This is a problem.
Rude jokes or comments.
This is a filler episode.
Before we actually get ourselves canceled somehow, Drew, go ahead and roll the intro.
Should not be taken as canon.
Oh, frick.
Welcome to Nico Muris, a world of lost legend and forgotten lore. As the world, still recovering from the decimation of the trial, approaches the turn of the century, ancient evil returns with a lust for darkness and ruin. Follow us into a planar conspiracy as powers beyond your imagination plot the downfall of all that is right and good. 3 years have passed since our heroes fought a war to reclaim a fallen land. Now, they must once again take up arms and write a new story, a tale of glory, fear, and fortune, as they make their way through the Paper Dungeon.
And we are back.
Ooh.
So, in our recent episodes, our party has been making their way across the cosmos. They recently discovered that one of the items that they were going to need to attain their goal of defeating and freeing Renaya from the Prince of the Abyss, Baphomet, would be to acquire the Dagger of First Deaths, a legendary artifact that Asmodeus used to commit the first murder, to bring death into this world, and eventually triggered the Age of Pandemonium, which is the worst era in the history of this world. So the party decided they were going to go after this dagger. They talked to a number of different princes and beings that would know about it. Things like beings like
A Bay Glossia.
Glossia, thank
And
you.
Rena's Bay, Grotz.
Grot. I was thinking
And
Havel.
Cather's
I could not
Bay.
get Havel out of my head when I was thinking
A
of
real
Grot.
life Bay,
I
Havel.
was like,
And
what the heck is
Cather's
going
Bay,
on?
Alatrasis or whatever
Oh
her
my
name
god,
is.
I just realized that
That's not it.
the Havoc ship can really never fly now.
No, it just has to fly
What's the
in
point
the outer
of
planes,
doing this
you know?
anymore?
Track and Havel are dancing in the stars.
That's right. They have,
Way to
they
bring
have
the
their own
mood down,
constellations
Aaron.
now. By talking to Grotz, by talking to Glossia, you were able to discover that this dagger was in possession by the ex-archdevil Baal, or Bell.
I think it's probably Bale. I'm not
I
gonna
think it's
lie.
Bale.
No,
You said
it was
Bell.
you said Bell.
But I think it's properly Baal. I don't know. Whatever.
I mean, it's
Aaron, do some
it's
research
your
for me real
world.
quick.
DJ,
Wait,
it could
is
be
it
whatever you want. Make a decision
B-A-E-L?
right now.
It's Bael, yeah.
Baal.
Baal. Baal. Anyway,
Gosh darn it.
I'm sorry.
Bell.
Baal was the was in
Just
possession
Baal.
of this. What?
Like a bale of hay.
Yeah, beautiful. Baal was the archdevil, or the ex-archdevil, in possession of this dagger, and so through a little bit
A
more research, through some more
dyslexic
discovery,
bale of hay.
you guys discovered that this dagger was being held in the Burning Citadel, a small keep or a palace at the base of the Maggot Pit, one of the many places where evil souls are turned into devils on the plane of Avernus, which is the kind of war plane, the first plane of the 9 layers of hell. You guys traveled across Avernus, constantly being poked, stabbed, slashed, bleeding everywhere, breathing poisonous gas, not really being able to sleep, having your souls tugged on by the river Styx, and having to avoid legions of devils before eventually finding yourself at the Maggot Pit. Through some creative use of spells, you were able to descend the Maggot Pit, navigate the kind of steel, silky spiderweb net that kind of blocks descending further into the Maggot Pit, and find yourselves in the Citadel. Once you were there, you made your way through this maze-like structure where everything looks very similar, and there's not a whole lot of distinctions, even to the point where the artwork that adorns the walls is repeating randomly, and so you never really know if you've been to this specific hallway or if you are repeating a hallway that you've already been to. But through some good rolls, you guys were able to navigate eventually, especially through Edward's survival checks that allowed you guys to kind of play a game of hot and cold. There are these two massive furnaces on either side of the temple, and assuming that you wanted to become the center of the citadel, you kind of knew that if you're getting hotter, you're getting further away from where you're going to, and trying to find a happy medium. So through some creative use of the skills, you eventually found yourselves in kind of the main room of the citadel, where you discovered that the dagger of first deaths was being protected by another ex-archdevil, one known as Moloch, the original proprietor of the sixth layer of hell, and who was replaced by Abinthy's Bay. Glossia. Yes, I was getting that. I knew her name. Duchess. You guys fought. You used spells, you used combat. Some of you crushed it with like 300 points of damage in one turn. It was ridiculous.
Used our charm and innate, I don't know, charisma.
Intelligence and skills. But nonetheless, you were able to recover this dagger and then return to your home plane. A monumental feat in and of itself. You then spent some time recovering. You spent time in the sauna, you connected, you talked, you hung out as friends for just a little bit before Cather went to go be temperamental and Renaya went to go soothe him as per usual.
I think you mean to say that Abinthy had a banger line that threw Cather into a state of inner turmoil.
While in that state of inner turmoil, your emotions got shuffled up just a little bit more with the return of an old friend, Kiyomura.
Woo!
He had been traveling from Rivaluna, having gone and recovered a rare piece of Audronite that I don't remember what it's called. I'll find that later.
Turquoise stone.
It is called
hydrocephaline.
That sounds good.
Vasoprite. That's what it's called.
Oh, Vaseline.
Yes, Vaseline.
That's the joke we made last week.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember now. Yeah, Vasoprite, which is a very rare form of Audronite that is formed when Audronite is very quickly encased in ice and unable to react to the water that's normally extremely reactive to. It then goes through the shifting in this process that over a millennia turns it into Vasoprite, a kind of a cousin to Audronite, where it still channels magic and magical energy very, very well, but it's more suited for healing magics and necrotic magic, stuff that would be used for healing spells or spells bringing people back from the dead, such and such.
I'm also pretty sure that the etymology of the name of the soda company Sprite comes from this mineral.
Yeah, well, that's
Sprite,
how they make it
sponsor
later
us.
on.
They have
Sprite is healing. That's why you drink it when you're sick. You know, when you have your tummy upset, that's why you drink Sprite.
Yeah, well, they have monopoly on the gem that they use to. They just drip water down the outside and it becomes Sprite. That's why
exactly.
It's like
have a motto: unleash your freshness.
That's right.
Kind of.
He had been searching for this gem for a very specific reason. After talking and catching up for a little bit, he revealed that he's been spending the last 3 years on a campaign, on a journey to bring back Melora.
How could he?
He had gone. Sorry, that threw me for a second. He had gone.
How dare he try to bring back his friend?
You son of
his friend, the lover of one of his best friends, the cousin of another one. He had spent much of his days traveling from all the different ends of the plains to find means for this. First looking for clerics that could bring her back, but discovering that the traditional form of a true resurrection spell would not work in this specific situation, as the soul being controlled by Zestari, the Archfey, excuse me. And so they needed a different way. So he went around and he bartered for the soul and needed to create this ritual. So he met up with a woman named Wisteria Vale, who they entered into a relationship with eventually, and were able to create this ritual, one that requires a number of different objects and places and magics, but is through several experimentations. Man, I can't speak anymore. Well, let's be honest, whenever could I really speak well? But
It's okay. We're here for
First
you.
step is admitting.
That's true.
through several iterations of this ritual, they have come to the point where they feel and they know that this ritual should work. And so Kiyomura met up with his old friends and invited you all to join him and Wisteria Vale, along with Adelar Crave, in this ritual in bringing back Melora and being the first people to see her return to her body. You guys
A body.
to a body, yes.
It's big clear here.
You guys, through some hesitation, which is justified, eventually decided to join Kiyomura, at which point he took you guys to Wisteria Vale, the city of Wisteria Vale. You then, as you guys remember, it's the massive city with all the floating buildings, the massive temple and statue. There, you guys met up with Adelar Crave and actually met the proprietor of Wisteria Vale herself, probably one of the most powerful mages currently on the material plane. You guys met, you went over the ritual, you went over the components, you tested and subjected and made some revisions before eventually deciding that this should work. The next step is going to the altar of Ailmar. You need a place that can channel magic on a cosmic scale, specifically one that is not devoted to any specific deity. And so the altar of Ailmar is a perfect example, as it is a temple in the country of Athane that is dedicated to the worship of any and all beings. And so you can go there and worship any way you want. It's not devoted to any specific person. And so with that, you guys have left. You guys are taking your ship, the Dead King's Horde, and traveling across.
Can we teleport?
No. Did you?
Yeah, to get to Wisteria Vale.
You would teleport to get to Wisteria Vale. Now you guys have to travel from Wisteria Vale up to Athane, or into Athane, and eventually to the altar of Ailmar.
How did your boat get there?
I mean, the
boat didn't get there. That's what it was. You guys actually were riding horseback. That's what it was.
I mean, the boat just exists in a pocket dimension, so
I pull it out.
Delivered.
So we kind of always have.
I
the
unfold
boat.
it like origami.
We Amazon Primed it, which if you have, you can subscribe for free.
Yeah, we Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
2 days shipping.
Yeah,
We
Amazon
asked
sponsored.
Bezos very nicely.
Yeah, you guys were riding horseback. I remember that you guys were taking off. So you're gonna have 3 days of travel time to get to the altar of Ailmar. During those 3 days, do you have anything that you guys would specifically like to do? Talking to Kiyomura, talking to Wisteria Vale, talking to Adelar Crave, messaging gods, anything.
I kill apathy.
I don't have anything.
Apathy, put your hands down.
That was my answer too.
Abinthy, you have something?
Yeah, I would like to strike up a conversation with Cather.
Oh dear.
So that way he can kill me.
Let's
like
go.
he joked.
Perfect.
Lydia says that Renata kills everybody.
I'm in.
Cathanthy.
Cabincy.
So,
That's
Cather,
better.
Abinthy, you guys have been riding for a few, we'll say a few hours. We'll say this is on the first day. You left Wisteria Vale. You're riding horseback and you have a couple carts with you, as there's a bunch of stuff that you need to take. The carts are kind of interesting. They have kind of like the levitation spell that Abinthy used. They have wheels that have this spell on them, and so the cart doesn't actually touch the ground. It kind of floats above it. So it's a much smoother ride. It's a new kind of a form of suspension almost, where it kind of giddies along without really...
Abinthy is upset because he knew he should have patented his tailor pack. That's literally what it does.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's been steaming for the first day. On the second day, he's like,
He's just pissed the whole time.
Yeah, he's just like, I hate this.
I just not realized, does the fantasy world just skip cars and just go to like hover vehicles?
The beauty of magic.
Yeah,
That's why
but it's
artificers
not
are
like
still allowed, because they're
it's
like,
not-
we're going to use technology, and everyone's like, literally, why would you do that?
yeah, it's not technology, it's magic. So
But
No.
Abinthy's also, I really apologize for the voice. I don't know how it's going to be pretty rough today.
let it ride, baby, let it
But
ride.
he'll like kind of stroll up to Cather, gosh dang, walking stick in hand. He goes, Cather, hey,
Yeah.
I just remembered back in the sauna, I called you a couple things, like the Moonlit Judge and so on, and there's a whole bunch of them that I mentioned. Frankly, I don't remember which ones.
Right. Yeah.
You seemed as though
You
you had
clipping your
not heard
nails?
of them. No.
Well, I was, because there's a piece of nail that I was annoyed with, so I was gonna.
I'm trying to roleplay, DM.
I'm trying to provide quality to your roleplay.
I was paying attention.
Anyway,
but
continue.
it appeared as though you had not heard of them.
No, not really. After leaving, well, okay. After all that had happened with the Thala and the war, I pretty quickly left Oclaron and this region as a whole and went back to Trivaluna, so I never really heard tale of our adventures, as it were, as everybody else perceived it to be.
Well, in my travels, I've noticed that there often comes a point in time when fighting a large beast or something along those lines, where there's like the playful banter, and then you have to like announce your purpose and everything, and like, this is the group. I am Abinthy Tribowitz, Advent Arcane, Master, like so on and so forth. And then you introduce the rest of the people in the group. Have you been given any names that you would like to be said, like that are important to you, that you would like to be said, just in case one of those events does come up?
Oh.
Abinthy Tribowitz, branding master.
I guess I've never thought about it.
I mean, sure, you're like a knight. Surely you've been given a title, a name by someone.
Well, the only titles I've been given no longer apply to myself.
Oh yes, the whole.
And I've never been given any sort of title by my people because I never accepted one. So
Seriously, no one's given you a name ever.
I mean, as you said, as you've already stated, there seems to be plenty of names for me out there, just none that I have.
Yeah, but that's not very personal. Come on, you have to have something.
Well, I guess the only thing would be that I'm technically a half-orc. I've been given an orcish name.
I mean, that'll do.
That is just Cather,
Flips through.
just double checking my notes here. That way I don't mess it all up. I'm pretty sure I still remember, but I'm still double checking to make sure because I don't want to look like a dummy.
Oh, it's like
sweats.
It's the K and Peel meme where he's just sitting there,
just dripping.
drenched in sweat. Yeah,
Where is it at? It should be like right here.
aren't you the Reaper or whatever it is? The Lost,
The burdened.
the Burden. Yeah,
Rand. There it is. Cather Rand. The burden.
Do you say that? Is that in character?
Yeah. So Cather will just say, "Well, my orcish name is Cather Rand, the burdened."
Ah, burdened. I suppose that the Tarak fellow. I mean, unless you got it some other name.
Yes. He. In order for us to have an easier time making friends in the Scarlet Wastes,
That's a word.
all of us were. He gave all of us orcish names and made us half orcs.
Huh. We must have valued you very much.
He was very dear to all of us.
It's a very kind name.
Kind?
You said that you were you said burdened?
Yes.
I actually studied Orcish under the orcs to the west, the plains orcs.
Orcs that are in the country that you're going to be in.
Yes, actually, we're heading towards them right now. Studied under them is a rather general term. They permit me to be nearby them for an extended period of time. But I learned a fair bit of their language. I have no idea where you got the burden from.
Oh, all right. I suppose, what would you consider my orcish title to be?
I mean, of course it's Rand, but the orcs to the west use Rand to describe what's a good term for it? Something akin to a linchpin. It's the focal point of weight on a bridge. It is the structural integrity of a thing. It is what holds everything together.
Interesting.
Burdened, I suppose, could be a translation of that, or perhaps there's a good chance the orcs to the west, when they were split off from the main group, did not have all of the subsects of orcs. So there's a strong chance that a lot of the language and culture and tradition is very different. They are less warring. They will often make deals with villages and stuff to protect them in return for basically like a mafia situation, like protection, racket money. But they are often helpful. They've taken down threats to villages and things like that. Of course, it's all under the pretext of raiding a person, a village. But no, in general, they are less war-having than the orcs of the Scarlet Wastes. So there's a good chance that your translation may be the true one.
Interesting.
Well, it is good to know. If you come up with any more titles, or you have decided to embrace the ones that you once had once again, and a massive amount of character development happens without me knowing, feel free to tell me and I'll add it to the repertoire in case we need to be introduced to some courtly villain.
Right. Well, I suppose in the meantime, I will trust your judgment and perception.
Of course, the valiant Catherand. It's got quite a ring to it.
That it does.
Well, I'm going to go walk over to the side of this
Line.
carriage for the purpose of perhaps continuing a montage.
You walk
On the road again, going places I've never seen again.
You guys continue on. Is there anything else that you guys would like to talk about?
I'm sure since it's like a 3-day journey, at some point Catherine would show Kiyomura his tattoos, since they are, equivalent
Intimate.
ceremonial tattoos to his.
Yeah.
Incredible.
You guys go through the first day. Everybody's it's kind of an awkward silence because, you're kind of getting used to the traveling, and what you're going to go do is kind of out there, but kind of not out there. Just kind of depends on how you look at it. And, now there's Adela Crave and Wisteria Vale here as well, along with some of the guards that they're bringing with. And then there's you guys who kind of feel like you're out of place. And then there's Kiyomura, who's like the awkward bridge between the Fate's Gam.
He's the one that knows both friend groups.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so he's just sitting there trying to figure out what to do. But you guys make camp that night. And your food's being made.
Yeah, doing stuff.
Hanging around the fire. At one point, you and Kiyomura are just kind of like sitting next to each other, and that man silence, where you're not saying anything, but exactly, but you're there for each other,
You're alone, but with someone else.
Exactly. When he kind of looks over, he goes, kind of pulls down on the collar and goes, "Did you get a tattoo?"
Oh, that's hot.
Yes, I did. I was hoping that you would be there when it happened, but you weren't. Since you
got it in La Stella.
Yes, I did. Yes, there's a whole. Your father insisted on making it a whole celebration and ceremony.
I'm so sorry I missed it. You haven't gotten horns, have you? And he like grabs your head and like pulls you down too.
Not to my knowledge, nor do I think I want them.
Both of you, stop it. I know exactly what you're thinking about. Stop it. Get your head out of the gutters.
I'm not thinking about anything.
There's,
Yeah.
There's
You're
nothing happening in
thinking
this
about the
head.
Kiamor Cather ship.
Look, you got cool tattoos. Anybody would have this reaction.
That's true. Well, can I see them?
Of course, yes. And Cather will take off his shirt and show them off.
I see exactly what you're doing here, Cather. And why not? Sure, Kiamor doesn't have personal boundaries. He kind of like traces like the back of your forearm and across your shoulder blades, and then down the other side as he kind of like traverses the
The
different.
scars, they're new.
Your body is so much more broken since I last saw you. No, but he will admire the tattoo. As for those of you who weren't around for the first half of the campaign or anything like that, in Horned Elven culture, there are two very important aspects and two rites that a Horned Elf will go through as a coming of age. One will be the manipulation of their horns, and the other is their tattoos. And so the horns are a form of personal expression, where almost like bonsai trees, where you use the wires to wrap them around, they do that. So it's kind of funny because horn elves that are like growing up, they almost have like headgear on, quote unquote. It's kind of like wearing
Like
braces.
braces, but for horns.
But they're for the horns, as they manipulate and twist and cause the horns to twist the ways they would like.
It's
but
like
the
the
tattoo,
You could do that
watermelon.
with braces.
It's
What
like
is that?
this. You go
Like
first.
just make your teeth grow cool ways with braces.
I guess
yeah,
you
just have like
could.
little like tusks coming out and everything.
Yeah.
I was
Cool
gonna-
spirals and things.
I was gonna make the analogy to those watermelons. They can grow as squares when you put them in square compartments.
Sure. There's definitely someone in Elven culture that just has two boxes.
Cubes.
on
They're
top of
just
their head.
cubes.
Yeah, exactly. But the tattoos are a little less personalized. They're more symbolic of the culture and qualities of the culture and qualities that are important to Horned Elves that are trying to encourage within themselves, honor, such and such. But they are depicted in different ways. And so like a tree is representative of one thing and stones on another thing, but they can kind of be depicted in different ways. And so Kiamor has his tattoos. And so Cather having these tattoos is very, very important culturally to the Horned Elves. And so all this being said, Kiamora, looking through the tattoos, can very much understand exactly what you're trying to get across. Grant, what are you doing? Are you guys talking to each other?
No.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
love
I've seen
Brenda's
Aaron
Zoom
type
chat.
like 6 times, and I keep checking the chat on Twitch and the
I'm-
chat on Zoom,
I'm really
and I haven't seen
waiting
anything.
for me to mess up and send the message to
Send
everyone.
it to everybody.
It's gonna get hilarious.
Well,
You
Anyway.
guys
we'll
are
talk
doing
later.
great. The audio people don't even know what's happening.
Yeah, it's great.
Except they do because they just heard you.
Ignorance is
This
bliss,
whole talk.
baby.
And is that our fault?
That's
No.
true. It's my fault.
Anyway,
I'm not gonna say anything, but I have noticed that over on this side where you have symbols for everybody, I don't have a symbol.
that is very, very true.
I suppose I probably deserve that though.
I mean, I was gonna, poke fun at you a little bit and say you haven't been around for a little while, but
I mean,
Uh,
neither have you. From what I've heard, you kind of disappeared as well.
that is true. I mean, I went back home.
Get him.
If that really qualifies as disappearing, I went back home and was there for a while before.
Which is like literally the other side of the continent for all your friends.
I mean, yeah, it's not like I didn't come back. I came to visit, and just nobody was around.
I was there. I was around.
That's right. Empathy was there.
I understand though.
But then,
It's important to
you know, but you are correct. I did I jumped into the Feywild, and then I fell into like a volcano plane or something, and then then Sigil, all that stuff. Oh, fun.
Went to Sigil? You got stuck in Sigil?
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you're not like a Modron by now.
I don't think I am.
Beep boop.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, your tattoos look amazing. Whoever did them did an amazing job.
Yes, they're everything that I was hoping they would be.
Good. I'm glad. I've missed you. It's been hard not seeing you all, you and Renaya and Edward, and not being there when Tarak died was horrible. And so I don't want you to think that I was out having the time of my life without my friends.
Well, if I'm being honest, it probably would have made me feel better if you were. But
I suppose it's fair.
Yeah, especially after knowing what you did go through, it just makes me wish that I was there more.
To be fair, you were off doing things that are far more important on the grand scale than I. And so
I mean,
we were both serving our duties in our own ways, I think. You're just a far more important person to the world than I am, which is fine. That's how it should be.
about that, I'm not sure how important I am to the world anymore.
As the leader of Fate's Gambit, it's hard to not be important. You're one of the most powerful men I've ever met. I mean, any foe falls before your feet, so...
I mean...
Yeah,
I don't...
right.
Kind of, like painting his eyes across the group. I'm not quite so sure that I would say I'm still the leader of anyone, since Fate's Gambit isn't together, I would say. It's... None of us are quite the same that we used to be, and I don't think any of us really have a large desire to keep doing this, you know?
I think it sounds to me, after talking to a couple different members, it sounds like you're all afraid of going back to how you were. Back to, you know, your wartime personas. Fate's Gambit is not a group of mercenaries who save the world during times of war. Fate's Gambit is a group of friends who are there for each other when they need each other. You don't have to be heroes to be Fate's Gambit. You can just be each other's friends. You can just be there for each other. But you're right. You guys are broken, scattered. You're not unified for anything. And that's your fault, Cather.
Speaking truth.
And I'm not trying to degrade your leadership, but as the leader, it is your job to bring them together, to bring everyone behind a cause, and to explain the vision. And that is whatever you guys want it to be. As your oath brother, it's one of my jobs to call you out on this. And so, you got this. You are a good and strong leader. And they need you. But it doesn't have to be to go fight a war. It can be to save Renaya. It can be to find yourselves again. It can be to help Edward rebuild Athala. It can be to be whatever Abinthy needs you to be. I don't know.
I'm not sure about him either. He's a strange one.
But just think about it.
You do bring up a good point, though, Kimura. Have you ever heard of somebody retaking their oath?
No. I'm sure it's possible. I'm sure you could, but for La Stella, when you break your oath, you either run and are never seen again, or you're killed. La Stella doesn't take kindly to oath breakers.
Right.
I really hope Gilmore is an oathbreaker.
How cool would that be?
If Kimura asked, maybe.
On the run. Band on the run.
I mean, you'd find out eventually. Regardless, Cather will pull out the broken part of his sword, of his longsword.
That's not as useful as it used to be.
Well, it used to be longer.
Well, it actually.
It doesn't matter,
not-
Abinthy. Okay.
Technically, in combat, it is a blower.
It actually is a little more useful than it looks right now.
May I?
Yes. Yeah.
Guillemot will pull it out and sweetheart, tell me, Drew, you are in complete control of this. Does the whole blade come out in its kind of magnetized state where it kind of all folds, or is it just the initial handle?
It's just the initial handle.
I hate both of you.
I wish I was this good at innuendos.
I'm crying.
You two are the worst.
I'm just
It is-
gonna mute myself.
It's more useful than it looks.
Oh god.
I pull
Shut
this
up!
out. You should never talk about swords ever again.
This is
Guillemot takes out the broken blade and looks it over. You know, I am proficient with weapons that aren't traditional, but this doesn't seem as useful as you're making claim to before handing it back.
Stab him.
It's not, but not in how you'd expect. I can actually still fight with it. A strange remnant of its power before, but this is the representation of my broken oath. It's a long story as to how it happened. I don't know. I've been recently pondering what it might take to repair it and find a new path, or take up the old one. I guess I'm not sure quite what I want to do yet. And really, if it's even possible.
I understand. You're gonna have to talk to them, I guess, right?
Eventually. Although I think I need a bit more time before I can do that.
It's fair. If you want someone there when you do it, I'd be honored to be by your side once again.
I would appreciate it. And perhaps all three of us could be there again when it happens.
That would be the fruit of 3 years of labor. So let us hope. Anyway, I should probably go talk to Wisteria. I haven't really said anything to her all day.
Yeah, what's
Yes, Abinthy, you in the back.
So I have two things. One, you need to make Kiamura an Oathbreaker because you would look so smart. Think about it. Cather's weapon broke
gosh, Aaron.
when his oath was broken.
Uh-huh.
What is Kiamura's main weapon?
Uh-huh.
A 3-piece staff.
Uh-huh.
A staff that has already been barely held together by chains. What happened when we were on the trail of Kiamura at the beginning?
It was
found
broken.
His shattered 3-piece staff.
You realize what you're doing right now, Aaron. You're doing the thing that DJ hates, which is break his puzzle before it's revealed.
Or I'm giving DJ an end to the easiest brilliant plot line of his life.
But
now,
see, it's no longer
now
brilliant if
DJ
you
can
point it
own
out
it.
like that.
Well, it
what
still
the
is
heck,
because
Aaron?
DJ can just say, yes, you totally figured out my plan. He's been foreshadowing that Kiamura was going to break his oath since literally the day we met Kiamura.
Wow. What a
Well, actually,
genius.
not since the day we met Keymore, since that was before he took an oath.
Well, yeah, no, but no, that's the foreshadowing. That's how far back it went. He was like, look at this
Wow.
cool staff.
DJ, you're
And we're
amazing.
like, oh my god! And then it's the whole thing. It's a metaphor for his like oath and stuff.
Aaron,
Second
the
thing,
biggest brain.
I'm barely
Now,
lucid right now.
Cather
Second thing that's
and
going on.
Cather and Kimura have something else to have in common.
Absolutely.
They are
when
two sides of the same coin.
when Kimura's like, I should go talk to Wisteria Vale. He looks over. Apathy's totally rolling up on Wisteria Vale.
Yes, please.
He walks over, and he's like, Wisteria, is it
Yes,
menthol?
I would love one.
I knew you were my type of person. Tell me, Wisteria, what's your angle?
She takes the she just drops it. She just takes the menthol. She does the thing where she doesn't like unwrap it. She just pulls on it and it just spins and unravels. Angle before taking it.
I don't want you to take this. Wow, you're spicy. I don't want you to take this wrong. I just don't see why you're doing this. Michael, like, what do you get out of it?
Do it for what you mean?
Like, the resurrecting the elf girl. I'm not too hot on the names right now.
Melora.
Yes. Meliodas. From the south.
I get two things out of this.
Oh, she's just going to tell me. That's nice. Normally it takes more work.
First and foremost, someone that I care very deeply about gets to succeed for
So
potentially the
they
first time in their
are a
life.
couple.
I'm getting to that.
Kiamura is Ailmar is far more broken than he lets on to be, which I'm sure you all know.
Aren't we all?
But it mostly comes from never really having the chance to succeed ever in life. And so this provides a victory for him that I hope will provide some confidence.
Yes,
He's very special, and he can make the hard choices. I hope to help him see that. Second of all, if this ritual works, there should be no reason why it couldn't be performed for others.
That does stand to reason.
And so history could be rewritten.
You lost me.
There are many, many great and powerful beings who were taken too soon. People who shape the world, who make it better, stronger, who move magic and science and life forward. People like myself, people like you.
I mean, first of all, thank you for including me in the same sentence. But, and trust
Mage
me.
Slayer of Avernus Hill.
Whoa, okay,
Should
you're pulling
be-
that name out of nowhere. I don't know where that came from. Let's just keep that at a minimum. All right, keep the voice down.
I have respect for you.
That's a bad thing. I did some very terrible things. You should not respect people for doing bad things. You
You're
totally
right.
deserved it. Still a bad thing.
You were fighting for what you believed was right,
No, I was fighting for vengeance.
which you believed you had cause for. Nonetheless, I do not wish to debate your moral ethics. But yes, I wish to see this ritual successful.
You know that it doesn't actually turn back time, though, right?
Yes, I understand that.
So who are you trying to bring back? Anyone in particular?
There are several that I have thought of, but I have found it wise to not, what's the expression? Count your chickens before they hatch.
I think it's something omelets.
Nonetheless,
Potato, tomato, you know?
I wish to see the ritual succeed before I begin planning for its uses.
I mean, that's fine. I have one other question. Did I already ask you, how are you alive? Just a personal question. Bit of an interest that I've had for a while.
If we're going to discuss opportunities for extended life, you should at least buy me dinner first.
How much would that cost?
Hmm.
I've got a
discuss
bag of
with you.
spices with me.
I'd be happy to discuss logistics with you at a later date. It's not really
Well-
the time or place to.
My schedule's rather free. Do you have a date in mind?
How about next week when we're back?
Oh, next week when we're back. Going to need a day.
On the next Thursday.
Done. Oh, Critical Role streams that night.
Hey DM, what day is it today?
Nice.
How about 2 Mondays from now at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time?
Oh, but that's when my least favorite Dungeons and Dragons. I'm definitely okay with going then. I get to date in a wonderful, young-looking woman. All those words seem to apply. Fantastic. Yes.
All right, so guys,
Fantastic.
everybody,
2 Mondays from now.
keep track of that. 2 Mondays from now, this is happening.
Yes, and this is canon in and out of life. I'm going to 2 Mondays from now.
Let's see. Wait, what's 2 Mondays from now? Let's just look at some stuff. Let's just make sure.
Is
Let's
it-
just keep the continuity.
Yeah, let's make sure.
Like December something.
That should be fine, I think. Right? Right?
It's
I
not.
mean,
December
mark
Could be
it
December
down.
5th.
There's no.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Patreon.
Hey.
No way.
As you and I
That's
just
a-
debate
that's a
ways
good
for
idea.
wisdom.
Ah, yeah. Fantastic. Have you tried the sticks method? I've been looking into it recently.
Did you have
What?
something else you wanted to talk to me about?
Oh, you've answered most of my questions. How did you and Kiamora meet? Oh, shoot. I really did. Are you two a thing? Because I'm an absolute dog, but I don't get in the way of other people's relationships.
I don't really know what you mean by that. But, yes, we care for each other.
And is he all right if we discuss immortality over fine candlelit dinner?
I don't know why there'd be candles, but yes, I am.
Because darkness is bad for my eyes.
Yes, Kiamora is fine with me talking to other people because we're just going to be talking.
Oh, good.
We are loyal to each other. I have no interest
fantastic.
That
That is.
was.
I'm
That
not
was
going
her
to
way
lie.
of saying I have no interest in you whatsoever, Abinthy.
I mean, that is.
in. When she said that she had no interest in him,
rejected.
yes, that's exactly what
I'm
she
not
said.
going to lie. Some part of me is a little bit sad, but the other part of me is very happy to see a wonderful, flourishing relationship.
yeah.
So, congratulations.
And DJ, I was
Thank
making
you.
reference to the
Apathy
her
goes and
saying that they're
cries.
loyal to each other part, not the. Yeah. Anyway.
I'm not interested in you. Yeah, exactly.
Awkward.
In that case, 2 Mondays from now, not a date, but it is on a date. Fantastic.
Think
I'll
of
see
it
you
more
then.
as a
It's an appointment.
mentorship meeting.
A meeting of the minds.
Yes.
Hopefully we're all both alive, unless you turn out to be incredibly evil, and this is all a secret plot designed to bring back vengeful souls into the world and bring the downfall of all of mankind.
That would
In
be
that case, I hope you're dead by 2 Mondays from now.
Oh my gosh, I just realized something. Wisteria Vale's initials sounds like weave.
Anyway, on to the next day.
No, Edward has things to say.
Oh, okay.
Do they have to be said on the first night?
No.
We're still on the first night?
Yes.
That was the
Oh,
first night, yes.
That was all the first night.
So you guys go about traveling about the second day. You make camp once again. Edward,
Cather. Just kidding.
Waiter.
Later.
Edward would
Some
like to go to
toast,
talk to
please.
Cather.
Okay.
Catherine Kiamora training, just so you know.
Psst. Psst. He's whispering from the bushes. He doesn't want to.
Did you hear something?
Cather turns. Must
Must be a spy. 1 second. Kiamora goes over to the bush, takes his like double-sided spear, and just like rams it into the bush.
Ah!
Oh my gosh! Edward!
Ah!
Edward, he pulls you out, doesn't lay on hands. I'm so sorry. Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you. It's okay. I thought it'd be funny.
What's
I mean,
up? What's up,
that was kind of
Edward?
He just screams, "A thief!" A lightning bolt.
Fireball. I just wanted, Cather, I just wanted to talk for a bit. You've been
Oh.
training for like 6 hours. I don't know. You need a break, and I'd like to talk, and I've been trying to find a moment.
Fair enough.
okay,
I'll give you guys
that's-
some space. I'm gonna go talk to Wisteria.
Great.
Ugh, there were
Cather,
those couples.
yeah, he'll kind of clean up a bit and then come over and sit next to Edward. What's up?
They sit on a log in the forest.
Nice.
Yes.
I just want to talk about what we're going to do if this all works and Melora's back. We haven't really talked about it. Like, do we
What?
just start traveling with her? Let's back up. Let's start with, what in the world do you think that will be like for you?
for me to
Yeah.
travel with Melora?
Oh, or just see her again. It's a big thing. I know you don't remember, but Cather, if I remember correctly, you cried. You didn't know why. Like, clearly there's more there, right? Than just forgetting. It's just, I'm worried for you and her and the whole thing. What if she remembers, you know? It's just gonna be messy.
Well, even if it is, as you say, messy, in regards to my personal relationship with her, to me, that's still worth the attempt to, bring her back.
Oh, I agree. Keep in mind, I am all for bringing Melora back.
Right,
I miss her.
Right. I guess, if she has the desire to travel again with us, I would not have any issue to that. In fact,
good.
I would welcome it. It's strange. I don't remember really anything about Melora, but of the one memory I do have of when she was killed by Sistari, I do have the memories of the emotions that I felt in that moment.
Right.
This incredible sadness at losing her, this kind of longingness that I can't really describe, this sadness. And again, while I don't know all the reasoning why I felt that way towards her, I know that it was true. And so I would greatly desire to meet and get to know the person.
Okay, good. Well, we're on the same page there, right? If she were to come back the same way, I'd be happy too. But I'm not quite just talking about if she's back. What if she's back and she's not the same? Or what if she's back and she doesn't want to stay? Or what if she's back and she's angry with us? I don't know how that would go.
Right.
And
well,
I want her back, but it's now that I've thought about it, it is a little risky, right?
I mean,
don't get me wrong, I still want to try it, but I don't know if I could handle. What if she's like one of the undead or something? And that's scary. Do we kill her at that point? If it's not her, could we? You know?
If something like that were to happen and she would come back as some sort of undead wraith, I don't think that if you did not feel that you could fight her, I don't think anyone would hold that against you. I know I certainly wouldn't. If she comes back and is a little different, perhaps she doesn't remember me either, well, I mean, as sad as that is to think about, perhaps her not remembering me and having really no desire to, there'd still be a part of me satisfied with that, because I know that she is alive again and gets to live out the rest of her life as she desires to.
Me too.
Now, I certainly hope that if she were to come back, she would at least still remember you and Renaya.
I would sure hope so. Okay, I just
certainly
needed to
if
say
all else
something
fails,
to somebody.
If all else fails, she'll probably remember Ginger. and Ginger can vouch for both of us.
Good point. Oh, how are you doing, little squirrel?
That being said, yeah, Ginger currently is like on Cather's shoulder, just like eating some nuts.
Cute. All right. Well, we'll hope for the best, and hopefully we'll never have to have these thoughts again.
Hopefully.
Well, you can get back to training, or what?
Edward. Thank you.
For what?
Well, for a lot of things, but your honesty.
You're welcome. And thank you for your honesty.
You're welcome.
All right. Abinthy's trying to make
he's
something
I don't know,
for me.
what is he
performing
doing
his
over there?
Ritualistic dance with his blade to like practice the movements and stuff. It's very formful and poetic, very smooth, and it's basically like Tai Chi with a sword.
Edward starts sweating and pulling out his collar, and he's just like, Abinthy's
Edward,
would
you like to practice swordplay? I could use a partner.
One should never play with swords
I
alone.
better go. We have a project we're working on.
But
It's private.
who's the lead?
Oh,
I think the word you're looking for is Dom, and it's definitely Abinthy.
No.
Joke's on you. Abinthy is a power bottom.
I don't like it here.
You were making
You
the
were
same
not
jokes.
Oh, the
The
turns
door.
have tabled.
I was referring to knitting.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, what? Yes, we can do that as well. I'll hold-
I don't know
I'll
what
have
one
some new
newfangled
projects in
thing the
mind.
kids are doing with this knitting, but I don't even want to know what it is.
Crossover, cross under, you know how it is.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This is why we need Lydia here.
So,
Anyway, we finish off the night. I actually
You
get to
guys-
sleep tonight.
nice.
Good job.
I
I'm
didn't
gonna
sleep
roll.
the previous.
I also sleep.
Yay!
What'd you roll, Grant?
You guys sleep
9
away.
on die.
Odd is sleep, you know? You guys spend the rest of the night, you converse, you hang out, you eat food, you go to bed, all of you sleep, which is great. It's the first time in a while that's happened. You wake up the next day. This is the day that you're supposed to arrive at the temple, the altar. You begin traveling. As you've been traveling, you've been making your way through the country of Athane, which is a primarily plains country. There are small little patches of woodlands across the countryside that kind of scatter themselves, but it's mostly a rolling hills plain country, and very gently rolling hills, not even like Nebraska rolling hills where it's like woo. It's just basically flat with a little
So
curvature.
it's Kansas.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. You've
Just a little
seen
further
several
south.
settlements. You've made your way through. You guys have begun to travel on. You found yourselves on a well-worn path. Discovering that this place that you're going to is a rather popular destination within Athane. Your caravan continues moving on. About few hours into the journey, there comes to a reverse fork, a split in the road where the road that you guys have been on conjoins with another road and becomes one as it continues going. And on that other path, you can see that there are 3 people on horseback who are waiting at that intersection. As you get closer, you can see that there are 2 women and 1 man sitting on horseback waiting for you guys.
Hail and well met.
One of the women kind of steps forward. They're all on Clydesdales. They're all on massive like war horses.
I didn't know we own a Budweiser commercial.
Budweiser sponsor us.
You
Or
don't
Coors
have to.
Light because Grant actually likes those.
Wow.
We're not even going to get into that. That was a whole nother.
That's rough, bro.
These
But-
guys seem friendly, right?
Oh yeah, they
Do they
You-
offer us up? Do they offer us a cold one?
yes. You know,
The
philosophy
ritual of
cultures-
my people. Cracking open a gold one with the boy.
Edward, make a perception check.
Okay.
Can I also make a
First check
perception
of-
check?
You can all make perception checks. Edward,
I
you have
don't want to.
advantage.
Thanks, Dad.
I take it at face value.
Everything chooses to be ignorant.
Yes. I don't get too often.
19.
Okay.
10.
19.
Edward, you were the first to notice. You then also noticed that Wisteria Vale and Adelar Crave also immediately noticed as well. On each one of these people, there is a medallion, usually tucked under a piece of cloth or kind of hidden away somewhere, where it's just barely noticeable. But it's a medallion that you recognize. There is a small the head of a dragon in the center of it
Small
with
head of a dragon.
a trimmed in a phrase in a language that you don't speak, but one that you recognize. The symbol that you recognize is for the
Symbol of Akhlaron.
Order of the Chosen.
Dang it. Whoa!
Even I
That's
knew it was
huge.
going to be the Order of the Chosen, Grant. And that's
You
not
know,
even my. That's your thing.
Anyway, to give Grant some props, the symbol of Akhlaron, Athane, and East Bravania, it's a three-headed hydra where they have different ones breathing fire for whichever country it is. So similar, but not the
And the
same.
heads were cut off, so there was one head at one point.
Yeah,
We don't talk
When
about that. Though.
Prazius was
In
in
Akhlaron.
power.
We don't
Yes.
talk about that time though.
we don't talk about that time. That's a
Those were
bad
the
time.
dark days.
Yeah. But you do notice that right away that these are immediately members of the Order of the Chosen.
You're the chosen like me. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh!
You are my favorite secret organization. Can I get your autograph?
Yeah.
All right.
Hello, we have been waiting for you. The man steps up. I am Mustafa Najar. These are my associates, Vivian Redwood and Evelyn Hunt.
Nice to meet you.
Mustafa.
We're on our way to the temple.
Really, DJ?
You got a problem with Mustafa?
I'm sorry, could you repeat those? I got Mustafa.
Mustafa
Redwood
Najar,
and Vincent.
Najjar, Vivian Redwood. I'm assuming I don't have to spell that one.
Mm-hmm.
And Evelyn Hunt.
Gotcha.
We're on our way to the temple.
We are
I'm assuming
aware.
that's- yeah.
And-
We
and
are,
wait,
joining
Vivian
you.
Redwood and somebody Hunt.
Eveline.
Evelyn Hunt. Eveline.
Hundt.
Hunt.
That fantasy flair.
Uh-huh. We're on
Yes.
our way to the
Apostrophe
temple.
somewhere.
We are aware and we are here to join you. We have been invited by Wisteria. At which point Wisteria steps down. Yes, it is a pleasure to finally put faces to your names. You are welcome to join and fall in wherever. We should be arriving, I believe, at the temple within a couple of hours. At which point Evelyn speaks up. That is roughly the plan, I believe. And it seems like we're all on track, so everything should go well. Have you run into any complications so far? Wisteria steps up. Or speaks. So far, the journey has been smooth. We will see if all of our components and necessities have been damaged when we arrive. But at the moment, it seems as though we are on track and unburdened. Perfect. Mustafa says. This is really difficult playing like 17 NPCs at once.
When the DM role plays with himself as 3 different
I love
characters.
this.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hope that
No,
DJ
I like
also
it this
kills
way.
most of his NPCs with his own NPCs.
Kiyomura
which
goes
point-
on a rampage.
The three of them begin to fall in line and join you guys on your crusade. Edward,
Yes.
do you want to talk to them at all? I'm just curious.
You know, the sun's out.
They're in the back.
Edward's feeling cute. He might as well.
Hey, Edward, I had something I wanted to talk to you about.
Screw you, Cather. Edward will be
Screw you, Cather. I'm gonna go talk to the cool
Horse.
new people.
Actually,
Go.
Cather, I would love to talk to you about your cape selection. I take Cather away before he gets to Edward.
Thanks, Abinthy. The best
Actually, I have
wingman.
been meaning to talk to you too. I want, I love the coat. that
Anyway.
you- and-
Oh my gosh, he's still going.
Did a cowl.
Cather
They're
will-
riding
Dang it,
just
not
at the back of the caravan.
Oh, with me. Hello.
Well, they're at the back of the caravan. You can now back
Edward
up to join them.
Edward will hang back, right? And he'll
slow
get up
your pace
next
as
to
it were.
them. And I'm guessing Wisteria is also not here.
No, Mysterious up
Okay.
near the front.
And Edward will just look over at them and be like, well, it's nice to meet your acquaintance. I hope you understand who I am. That sounded a lot more pretentious than I meant it to be.
Met my father.
Vivian speaks up. We know who you are, Edward and Fellows. And we know that you're an agent.
What?
You're not supposed to say it out loud. It's okay,
Well-
though. It's okay.
I will admit this. The beauty of our situation is that we have been invited as members of the Order. And so it is well known our positions, at least among those in authority here.
Well, I would like to ask.
Well, do
Typically,
you
they don't
assume
send.
that I'm not an authority here?
Typically, they don't send 3, right? Plus me. Plus, well, what about Wisteria?
Wisteria is
She called
not a
for
member
you.
of our Order.
Gotcha. Good to know. So there's 4 of us. That seems like a bit much, right? A little reckless.
Well-
Is this bigger than? Is there something going on here that I don't know about?
Well, the consequences of this experiment can be revolutionary to the world. And so we wanted to be a part of it. The reason for the 3 of us is that we are each a member of the different houses. I am
see.
of the House Thane, Mustafa is of the House Rain, and Eveline is of the House Artemis. And so
Very good.
provides the different perspectives of the respective duties.
All right. Well, it's not very often that I actually meet others on my travels, so I'm quite happy to have your acquaintance here.
We are pleased to meet yours as well. We've heard much about you. You have made quite a name for yourself within the Order, for one so young within it.
Really? That's surprising, I suppose.
And it's not every
Um,
day that someone who saved the world joins us.
Fair enough. I've heard. Wait, Aaron.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
I know things about
Oh yeah,
you and.
yeah. You know that they've approached me.
Okay. He says, you know, I've heard that they've tried to acquaint or appoint Abinthy before. Is that true?
Avanthy Triplewitz has been a candidate, but I don't see why he applies here.
I'm not. I don't think he'd say yes. I was just trying to see if it was true. Now I know. Sometimes he tells stories, and I don't know if he's embellishing.
Are you, Edward, are you looking at Avanthy? Like, kind of like looking over at it and
I'm
stuff like that?
whispering, and yeah, sure, I'll be glancing over at Abinthy. Why the heck not?
Abinthy is
Mustafa.
reclined on a carriage doing cat's cradle. Like,
Mustafa leans forward. Is that the Avanthy Triplewitz?
Edward's face turns a little jealous.
Cather,
He
look,
says-
the Eiffel
He
Tower.
says, yes, that's the Abinthy Triplewitz. Yes, he's accompanying me on this trip.
Just to make sure that we got the tier list correct, you know. I mean,
And now it's a mosquito.
within the House Thane, he's legendary. I've never seen a man so powerful yet so unwilling to accept an offer.
I've
Yes.
made the Little Dipper.
Yes, someone so simple yet so complicated.
I expected him to be taller,
Me too.
less hunched.
I love this.
Perhaps
I straight
older.
up to my full height of 7'4".
you go from Uncle Iroh throughout the majority of the show to him when he
Yeah, and
busts
then he
out of
just got
prison.
6-pack abs.
Yeah, exactly.
Just an
exactly.
absolute unit.
Yeah.
And then literally
No,
one
but-
month
but-
later, he's back to the dad bod.
Hey,
Absolutely.
those type of gains are very unsustainable unless you do some.
If you know how to cut and how to bulk, all right, you just do what you gotta do, bro. Slap some creatine on it, call it good.
But honestly, Abinthy always surprises me with his abilities, and if one day he's ever a little more sympathetic to the gods, then maybe one day he'd consider. But
Oh yeah, that's right.
yeah, I don't know. Let's keep it between us that you're here, as you
Well,
are.
if I asked for him to give me a sewing needle, it'd probably be inappropriate.
I don't see why not, I suppose. Go for it.
No, I don't. I'm sure he gets mobbed by fans all the time.
No, he really doesn't. He likes to keep to himself. He's known by many names, you know.
Yes, we are well aware of. I shouldn't say all. I would imagine all, but nonetheless. Anyway, yes, we are excited to be here, and we hope that this experiment is successful. But we want to make sure that
You don't
its
accidentally create a zombie army.
details are maintained within good hands.
Of course. And to be clear, this wasn't my idea. I'm also coming along too to observe. So if it does go wrong, please make sure it's not pinned on me. I really want to keep things. I want to keep things well.
The
with
beauty of
order.
having Abinthy Triplewoods here is that he is not a member of our order. And so if we needed a
Exactly.
fall guy, we have a good fall guy.
But it, it wasn't entirely his idea either. It was Kimura and Wisteria, but
Kimura. Who's Kimura?
oh, it's right there. He points at the horned elf with the sick
Look at his
tattoos.
massive
Wait, does he have
biceps.
tattoos? Who cares? He has
Kim-
cool horns.
He does have tattoos and cool horns.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is
he's
that
got like the
one?
forest on one side and the mountain on the other. You remember?
We've known him for a long while. And where is he from again, Dion?
Stella.
He's the son of the leader of La Stella.
I like how you asked for the location
I'm really trying
and
to-
immediately went for a different name.
I can't remember.
You're like, where is he
these
from?
things.
What's the name of his dad?
Relevuthel.
I don't know. Revoluthel. He's the son of Revoluthel, who has helped us in the past, and he met with Wisteria to decide to attempt this whole thing. Also, Melora's my cousin, so there's a bit of a conflict of interest there. So I'm here.
Conflict
I
of
see.
interest? Is
You
it,
mean-
is it a conflict of interest in what your cousin back from
You
the
know,
dead-
you know what I'm trying to say. It's like,
a bit of
You don't
bias,
perform-
perhaps?
You don't perform a surgery on your own son.
yeah.
It's that kind of deal.
Yes, she's my cousin, you know.
I'm sensing a lot of awkward romantic tension within families. This is nuts.
Ew,
Okay.
no, it's not that. That's gross. Yeah, so I'm here, and it was Wisteria and Kimura's idea.
This conversation went downhill real fast.
Man, that took quite a turn, didn't it?
Maybe there's a reason the Chosen don't meet up. Oh my gosh.
As this conversation derails, it gets
Yeah,
misled
guys.
by while Abinthy was messing around with the cat's cradle, he accidentally tore a hole in the weave, and things just like explode, and he's like, "Oh, it's fine."
At
Oh,
one
that
point,
happens sometimes.
Catherine does does ride up again, like next to Abinthy. He says, "What is that? Like a cart on like a track, going in a circle?"
Yes, and it definitely did not just minorly cause time to skip backwards 3 seconds, and no one noticed it.
Right.
That's why I'm lagging. You know,
Mhm.
Abinthy's
Abinthy's fault.
carrying holes. Yeah.
Let me try to make this a little clearer. Apparently, the Fae cared a whole lot about Melora for some reason, and Cather had visions and met her, and she's a part of the whole narrative. If you're not familiar, of the
If you're not familiar, go
saving
back
of
and watch
Athala.
chapter 1.
Yes, of the saving of Athala. She was a huge piece, and someone we were devastated to lose. So she means a whole lot to us and could be a good addition to the world if she's brought back. So we all care an awful lot, and we hope it goes well. And if it doesn't, I think we're all prepared to do whatever we must.
Good.
That was literate.
That
Good
was
job,
well explained.
Grant.
Well done.
Thanks, guys.
We agree with everything you've said. We hope that this is successful. We understand that there is great personal importance to the specific person being brought back. We look forward to meeting her, as she does seem to be at a focal point within different narratives. But to be clear, our main objective is maintaining this ritual and making sure that the details of its performance are recorded, understood, and prevented from falling into poor hands.
Fantastic. I'm so
We are
glad
but
you're here, and I'm very
Humble
glad
advisors
Wisteria Vale.
and observers.
I'm glad she took the precautions of having you here. Honestly, it makes me feel a bit better. We have some ambitious folk with us. And
Ambition
I'm glad...
has progressed the world.
Yes, it can also be foolish. And so I'm glad you're here to supervise. Because Lord knows I
As
don't know
always.
what's happening.
Well,
Which
it might be good for you to get back to the group instead of talking with us.
Right. Edward speaks loudly. Well, I'm very glad you're accompanying us strangers.
As are we.
It's
Yes,
not,
Abbott.
it's not like you to make new friends, Edward.
You're an antisocial prick.
Well, it's not like you to look so darn handsome on a horse, you rascally
Stud.
devil.
While Abdi's messing with his cat's cradle, he's going to figure out how to make like a perfect circle in the center of all the strings so that the inner edge and like middle of the strings is completely clear.
Impossible.
And in doing so, he's going to ritual cast detect magic, and he's just going to look through it at the three people.
Okay.
Wait, does that mean that Amethy's riding backwards on a horse right now?
Oh, I'm on a carriage. I'm just spinning around on the.
On the
back.
He's
carriage.
got a little spinny chair.
Yeah,
over there.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You cast Detect Magic. There are a number of magic items surrounding you. Obviously, there's all the magic items on your person, all the magic items on Cadler and Kiamora and Edward and Renaya. There's also a number of magic items within the cart that you're sitting in and the cart that's following behind.
I don't care about any of that.
The three members each have magic items as well. Is detect magic's not a divination spell, right?
It very well may be.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
It feels like a good chance of it being that.
It's either divination
If I can find them.
or enchantment.
Why am I blind?
Or maybe abjuration?
Oh, it's because it's a first level spell. It
Perhaps-
is divination.
Okay.
When you look over each of the individual members, you kind of like shake the web, like, why is this not working? Like an old man trying to deal with technology, as it doesn't work over them. Actually, it wouldn't work over Renai either.
That's flipping sick. I want
Or
that.
actually, now that I think about it, no, sorry, just Renai. Yeah.
I know that Renaya isn't here. Can I ask her why perhaps a detect magic would not function on her?
Well, I have this ornament that prevents scrying and divination spells to be done on me. So
Yes, that's very fair. I'm gonna step off the cart and roll back to those three.
Mhm.
And I'm just going to say, hello. I'm not.
No,
sure-
Mr. Tripowitz.
We haven't. Oh, you do know my name. That's fantastic. Is there any reason that you would be concealing your identities or / personal effects?
To prevent unwanted eyes from knowing our identities or possessions.
Well,
And
I would
for the
like to
record,
know your
Abinthy-
identities and possessions.
For the record, Amethy, I also had the same effect.
Yeah,
Oh,
but I know you
Edward does. There you go.
inside and out.
What the
So much
heck?
swordplay.
Gosh darn it.
I'm sorry, what was the last thing you said, Ebony?
I would like to know of your personal effects and identities if you're going to be traveling with us.
As much as we wish to oblige, we're here on the request of Wisteria, not of you. And so we will be keeping our personal matters to ourselves.
I mean, that seems a little unfair, though. You know who I am.
We know your name and your reputation.
Have I figured out that they're chosen?
Make a perception check.
I mentioned that just so you know. Wait, you know about Edward, and Edward has the same effect as them. We're just talking to them.
Dirty 20.
You notice on one of them there is a small medallion kind of under. She has like one of those cloaks that like wrap over here and then it like buttons over here, and so like underneath one of the flaps, it kind of pokes out just a little bit. So yeah, you think that they probably would be members.
Look, you don't have to do this. Right, like I get that you're this whole like super secret organization and everything, but like, come on.
Mr. Triplewoods, we will be keeping our matters to ourselves. If you wish to be informed of these, perhaps reconsider one of our many invitations.
Perhaps you could consider shutting up. I'm sorry, that was very rude. That was very rude. I apologize for that, but only kind of. What I'm concerned about, let's just say perhaps 3 doughy-eyed, innocent little members of the Chosen. This is you 3. I'm miming. Actually, I light a candle. I just pull a candle, light a match. I use Control Flame to make 3 little flame people walk along. I'm like 3 unsuspecting, doughy-eyed, naive Chosen members walking along to meet their destinated target. But oh, what's this? And then a big scary monster comes out of nowhere. It's also made of fire, and just attacks them. And the 2 other ones will show up and attacks them again. And then they put on little fire clothes. And then oh, lo and behold, they cast a fancy little spell to look exactly like you. You could be absolute terrible people right now. That's what I'm trying to check. If you are who you say you are.
Of all the men to be concerned about who are terrible in our presence, you would be concerning.
Have you met Catherine?
No.
Good. I don't think he would take kindly to you. Look.
Actually, I think probably the
We appreciate your interest in
It
security.
was a threat. I don't actually know how Catherine would think about him.
We appreciate your interest in security. But knowing us and knowing our reputation, have faith.
Oh, but how would I know your reputation? You're so well hidden and totally secure in all of your fancy libraries that I've definitely never been to.
Abinthy, you
Huh?
told me you told me you'd show me how to do this.
Cather is tangled in strings. His arms are bound together.
I said, sorry, Catherine, I was just rooting out the evil in our presence.
I don't
Abinthy,
I don't understand. How did you make the cat face?
As Abinthy leaves, Edward just looks at Abinthy and says, as he approaches Catherine, I'm assuming Edward, you weren't pestering them, were you?
I was
They
absolutely
didn't look very
pestering them.
happy. Why? Abinthy, come on now.
I know that you're a big fan.
Really? Here now? We just met
I'm just
them.
saying. Oh, also, as I leave, I do slide an autographed piece of paper into the the main guy's pocket.
That's awesome.
But my name is spelled wrong. Like if you took it to like an authenticator, you'd be like, that's not real.
That's not
Abinthy,
real.
you know how much this means to me. To meet others, I don't meet others very often, and here you are.
What if they aren't others?
Yeah,
What
but
if they're imposters?
okay, yeah. What if? What if you're not Abinthy? What if that's not Cather?
What
And
if
then he
I'm
notices
not
that Cather is right there, and he says, "I mean, we should make friends of anybody who joins our group, right?"
Yes.
I mean, okay. Now, not to be the middleman here in this conversation. I don't know what's going on between you two right now. But making good new friends is always a good thing. It's better to have more friends than enemies. However, cautious optimism is also good because sometimes enemies are disguised as friends. So, all that being said...
Oh, you're really taking his side
No.
here?
Did you listen to the first thing I said?
Mysteria herself called for them.
Did you listen to the
First
first
of
thing
all,
I
do
said?
you trust her?
I think...
Look at her. No one looks that good after like hundreds of thousands of years.
I think there's no reason that we shouldn't necessarily trust them. However, we don't know them very well yet. So, just be a little cautious.
Katha, unrelated note. What's your opinion on secret societies?
Well, the only secret society I know of was the one that Havel was in, which did like a lot of gambling. So, not very high.
Edward's
I don't
eyes
know.
are shooting
What
darts.
do secret
over at
what do
Abdu
secret
right now.
societies really do?
I don't know.
I mean,
secret
from what
stuff?
I've
I mean,
heard,
if we knew what they
secret-
did, would they be very secret?
From what I've heard, secret societies are just goofy and silly, and nobody should be a part of them or ever talk about them ever. I mean, remember what Havel's secret society did? Why would we even bring them up right now?
Edward, this
Looks
isn't
over at
Fight
Avonby.
Club.
What's Fight
This
Club?
isn't... He's got it. Is that the temple I see?
You guys argue back and
Blimey.
forth. You bicker like old married couples. A few more hours go by.
Chaos thruple.
I hate you all.
Gosh darn it.
Thruple
You-
is one of my favorite
Hey,
words.
what did I do wrong?
What's wrong with you?
You were an adult. Shameful.
What is going on?
You travel for a few more hours, making your way along the winding path before eventually you get to the edge of a small woodland. You can see that
Small
it's dense.
woodland.
You can see that it's dense with a lot of underbrush,
I dropped my
and it seems as though there is a very, very small, almost like game trail through the woods ahead of you. Kiyomura hops off his horse. They go and they begin tying them up, and then some of the guards that are with you, along with Kiyomura and some of the others, begin grabbing items from the carts. We need to make our way on foot from here on out. Would you guys mind grabbing some of the gear?
Of course not. I pick up like a single feather pillow.
Meanwhile,
I throw a bunch of stuff on my levitating pack that allows me to carry a whole bunch of weight.
Kiyomura and Cather do have a strongman
competition
competition,
going.
like
Yeah.
who can carry the most like heavy stuff.
Edward, very with a lot of noir. That's a word.
Nuance.
Noir, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like dark
a
and
lot
gritty,
of noir. He just
like Nicolas Cage in the Spider-Verse.
like being professional. He just carries a few bags with his hands.
So not noir at all.
No,
I don't know.
What
He
is
looks
noir
I can't do what you're
he
saying.
looks like a
you know
like
what I
a
mean? He does
detective
this whole
rushing
thing.
to the-
He does
to the
this whole
office.
thing.
Like he has like a
He's
trench coat with his like his briefcases.
Yeah.
Okay.
it starts to rain and
You
then
know,
he
because
But
goes
only
like a-
over. Somehow, Edward goes grayscale. We're not really sure how.
Yeah.
a
he could
monologue
pick up-
begins.
He could pick up a bunch of stuff and struggle with it, but no, he just picks up a couple briefcase-sized bags and starts
Friday
walking
the
as if he
13th, when
owns
she
the
walked
place.
into my office. Long
I used
legs,
to rule
blonde
these
hair.
halls.
It was
Is
a dark
Is that
day
what
stormy
noir
night.
means?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you
You-
have a little bit of a wrong definition, but close enough.
I don't
Perhaps
know.
some suave.
Look, as the head poncho
Yeah,
of this
maybe
group, I think
suave.
that you're probably
Stop that.
That's the head.
That was one time.
It was one time.
no, that was a lifetime, and then one time changed you forever.
You
That's
guys
so
gather the
true.
gear. You gather the possessions. You see that several of the guards pick up like a funeral procession coffin. You know, like the fancy ones that have like the posts that go through all of them.
Mhm.
Or like an open casket type situation.
Gosh, what could
very-
it be?
The
Who
very-
pallbearers.
What was that called?
They're called pallbearers.
pallbearers?
Pallbearers, yes. Some of the guards kind of act as pallbearers to this casket of sorts.
Gotta
Is
watch
you
out for
all-
those
I
palls.
don't like that.
Is there a dead person in it?
I mean, it's Melora's
it's
body. Like,
Melora's
it's no body that they
Wait,
crafted.
what? Where did we? Oh, it's the fake body.
Hashtag fake body. This is okay on TikTok.
Yeah.
Anyway, as we begin to walk, at some point, Cather will actually hang back and also introduce himself to the three chosen people.
Why
Just
my
do-
name is
just major. Yeah. Sorry, not to rush
No
you.
you
roleplay
want-
for you.
Do you want to roleplay that, Drew?
Well, I was just gonna like hang back, and Cather's just. Oh, by the way, apparently since Edward and Abinthy felt the need to do it, I guess I get to do it too. I'm Cather. This is Ginger. She's Melora's pet squirrel, but also my pet squirrel. It's a pleasure to meet you.
You must have been very close to get a pet together. It's usually quite a ways into a committed
Well,
relationship.
I mean, it's more like Ginger was her squirrel before she met the party, and then the two of us got very close, and then after she died, she became my squirrel.
Drew, I want you to put boxes on your shoulders for this.
It does remind me of the way that babies dance. Where they're just kind of like.
That's okay, Drew. I was just
He
kidding.
doesn't
We'll,
have
edit 'em-
this.
we'll put them in post.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we won't.
But it was a pleasure to make your
Leave it to
acquaintance.
me,
Thank you for
Ryan.
introducing yourself.
Yep.
And they introduced themselves as well.
The TikTok edit's going to be wild.
You guys begin making your way through this dense woodland.
Through the woodland.
You begin
Yeah.
making your way through.
What's that?
You make your way through this woodland, winding around trees and through bushes and over ferns. Very like massive, like Redwood National Forest esque, where you have these massive trees that are, talking 10, 12, 15 feet in diameter that you have to go around and make your way through. Not too long into the trek, through the bush, you can begin to see the edges of a building, this large stone pyramid of sorts. As you begin to make your way closer and closer, the bush begins to clear as you enter into this grove. And towering above you, you see this massive brick and stone pyramid built before you with what looks to be almost like jade accents to it. Kind of a mixture of traditional Egyptian style and like Mesopotamian.
Like a ziggurat.
Yeah, kind of like a ziggurat, where it doesn't have the 4 staircases where there's one on each side. There's just one central staircase up the center of it with jade adornments on either side. There are braziers that line it that are filled and burning. And then the pyramid itself, it has a top to it, but that top rests on these massive square pillars. And so there's like a gap at the top of it between the base of the pyramid and the top of the pyramid where there's this open concept space. You guys immediately start making your way up the stairs, and it is long. It's a lot of stairs. The classic, as you're climbing the stairs, that's
This
definitely
reminds
the
me
feel.
of the last time I went dungeon delving to the Huttering Temple, far below. Oh man, that was terrible.
This reminds me of hell.
You guys make your way up the stairs and up the stairs and up the stairs before eventually you reach the top of the staircase and find yourself in that open spaced area. It's rather simple in design. You have the pillars that frame everything. As you walk in, you can see it's a flat space before leading up another few steps, and then that leads on to a kind of a raised section with then another probably 10 or 15 steps pedestal that rises up. I'll send a picture of it in the Discord, and this is not my image, so just so everybody's aware. Let me do that, and then Discord. But
Man, it would be cool if everyone was in the Discord so they could see it too.
Exactly, you know, it'd be great.
Is
This
it in
temple-
general?
I haven't done it yet.
Oh, where will it be, Mr. DM?
Also, shout out to Wander for setting up the live alert tonight. I'm very thankful.
Wander. Big hug.
Shout out
from
to
the paper
all of our
dungeon.
mods for just
All of our
really
mods.
being champions out there.
I love them.
We see you. We care about you.
We have 2 mods, right? Just Maz
I
and
think that we have
Wander.
more mods. Do any of them show up? No.
Oh. From
Wander
like
and Maz
early
are here.
on.
I mean,
Early on, yeah.
If
Wander
you
and
wanna-
Maz are here.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And there. Oh, processing. There you go. So you can see that it's the raised area with the pedestal in the center.
In
From
stream
the
talk.
ceiling, it's in stream talk. Yes, sorry.
Whoa.
On that pedestal, you can see that there are light channels for light to come in and focus on the center of this pedestal. There are the gold adornments. There's jade accents. A very beautifully designed altar. You guys set down your stuff before Adelar kind of claps his hands and says, "All right, let's get started." And that is where we're going to go ahead and take our break real quick.
Yeah,
Wow.
baby.
That's what we're here
So,
for.
We'll be back in 10 or 15 minutes for them to hopefully do this ritual. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 10 or 15 minutes. We got to grab some snacks. Life's going to be great.
Let's go.
See you in a little bit.
Bringing back Melora.
All right. So we are back.
Welcome
We left off
back.
with you guys finding your way to the top of the altar of Ailmar, a legendary temple devoted to the devotion of any and all gods, and not any one specifically. The power that this place has is palpable. You can sense while you're here, especially now that you're up towards the top, there is a tension, a pulling on the cosmic threads, as this place seems as if it is its own conduit for not only the weave, but for cosmic energy and the powers of creation itself. It's almost intoxicating, especially to someone like you, Triplewitz, who is already very finely tuned to those sensations. You kind of feel like you're you kind of feel like you're high. You're just like, oh my gosh, this is everything I've ever wanted.
Shade, you can see that Abenthy is like squinting, covering his eyes a little.
The servant and the guards begin setting up different things. They take the casket and they raise it up onto that highest section of the platform before eventually setting it down, taking out the bars, opening it up. And inside you see, for those of you that look, you notice that there is a perfect replica of Melora.
Yeah.
For those of you who would be aware, such as you, Triplewitz, a beautiful simulacrum for Melora, or clone. Yeah, I believe that's the right spell I'm thinking of.
Simulacrum works effectively, yeah.
Yeah.
Strange.
While this is all being set up, Adelar will turn to the four of you. Would any of you have an item of hers?
Looks at Cather.
One specifically of importance would be ideal.
Like
Hands
how
over Ginger.
an item, okay. I have a few things. Cather pulls out the bag of holding, and he will produce the broken oath bow.
That would work perfectly, actually.
This was her main weapon when she died.
Perfect. He then takes the oath bow before going over to one of the guards. And this guard is holding what looks to be like an iron cylinder with a little line about 2 inches down across the bottom. And then there's a handle on the top. Adelar goes over and he takes the handle and twists before lifting up. And you can see it's just an encasement for that birdcage-like contraption, what you have come to be known as a soul cage. He lifts it up and raises it, and you can see within this red kind of amber wisp, almost like a will-o'-the-wisp, kind of wisping around and kind of bouncing in through, and the spitfire of a soul bouncing around within the bars of this cage. He then takes that and this one before kind of whistling at Kiyomura, who comes over with him. They go over to a small pedestal off the side before setting the oath bow down with the soul cage. And then Kiyomura takes out that vassalite and sets it down as well. He watches Adelar then begins to go through the first step of this ritual, which is infusing a item of the receiver of the intendee, an item of those who you're trying to resurrect, of the subject of the spell, and infusing it with the soul as a way of imbibing it and acting as a vessel to transfer the soul from the soul cage and into eventually the body of the clone or the person or whatever. And so he begins going through that spell. Let me roll some.
He's going to just watch over and make sure that he's not messing anything up.
Hey,
Oh,
DM,
perfect.
would this be
You give him advantage.
DM? Would this be the apt time for me to begin to pray?
Sure. This would be a great time.
Great.
And can Edward play a helpful melody that appeases the weave and helps it be more susceptible to magic?
Of course.
Is
We're all
that
doing
your
our
bardic
part, baby.
That would be a
inspiration?
natural 20.
Yeah, that's Bardic
Oh.
Inspo.
Beautiful. Let's see.
Jacked when I did that. Holy cow.
The
Do it again.
D8.
I want to see. I didn't get to see.
I don't know if I could do it. I like flexed really weird and my arm just looked huge.
DM,
D8.
should I roll something as well for my?
That
damage?
would be an
Does it matter?
8.
Whoa, full rolls.
And then let me look at this real quick. He's a 20th level warlock, so he has a +6. Plus so he has
We're in the presence of a
Like-
20.
like a plus 16 or 17 to this, something like that. We'll do a +15 just for the fun of it. So that's
what I
a
have for Arcana.
oh
So
perfect. That's a
hot.
43 on his Arcana check.
Oh, you can do anything with
So
that
DM,
roll at
do
all.
I need to roll a religion check on my
We do it.
end?
We succeed. I
Um,
was like, oh, look at me. I'm back alive.
You guys
That's
watch
okay.
as
But it
Adelar
worked.
masterfully cast this spell. Very familiar with it, as it's been through many iterations, as he's the head designer of this spell, along with the
Knees
fact that he's
weak, arms heavy. Mom's spaghetti.
I hate you.
by the way, DM, I got a dirty 20 on my religion check, if that matters.
Great. Beautiful.
I really just rolled it for me.
Good. You'll roll it again in a second when it actually matters.
Sorry, you can
I
Again,
apologize.
continue, yeah.
I thought we were like beyond that point. I thought like you with your natural 20 and plus a billion. I thought we just like
No.
I thought
Well,
just
for this
won.
particular aspect, so what Adelar has done is he's done the first of like 7 steps. So he's gotten the soul out of the soul cage and into this item that can then be used as a message, as a way of transferring the soul.
Apologize.
So
this.
there's still the aspect of actually getting the soul into Melora and actually getting her to come back.
Nuts.
So there's all that type of stuff. There's still some things to do.
I apologize.
Okay.
But it is quite entertaining and awe-inspiring to watch someone truly masterful work their magic, work their craft in such a easy and profound way. It takes a little while. It takes about an hour of casting this ritual as you guys kind of go back and forth, and you can feel the temple pulsing with the power, with the rhythm of the spell. Something that you very much understand, Edward, is the power in that rhythm, in the musicality of it, as well. It's where you get much of your magic, and so you very much understand that the weave has a natural song to it, a natural rhythm to it, and you can very much feel that here in this on this altar.
It's like how a crystal glass has that frequency.
Yeah. You guys are bumping at the right frequency. Exactly.
Yeah.
The hour goes by before the the hour goes by and the oath bow begins. The oath bro, Kiamora and Cather's hands.
Oh my god, that is their ship name.
Oath bros.
Woo. Nice. Good job, guys.
We got there. We did it.
We can stream tonight.
The bow has mended itself over this course of time,
Let's go.
creating itself into almost this full connected loop. And it has a gentle amber glow to it. And it also kind of seems to pulse with a rhythm, with an energy. Adelar picks it up and sets it onto kind of this pedestal that they had built for it. Not for the bow itself, but for whatever item, this kind of cushioned pedestal. Before a couple of the guards pick it up, a couple of the pallbearers pick it up and bring it up to the casket as well. At this point, Wisteria comes up to all of you. At this point, this is when, if you have any ceremonial rites or favors to call in, whatever you'd like, now is the time when we would need it. By which I mean, if you pray to a deity, pray now.
Hey, DM.
Mhm.
Would you allow me to keep my dirty 20 from before?
Sure, whatever.
Okay. Okay, great. I guess Cather will start. He'll just kind of approach.
Which gods are you petitioning?
Well,
Ask your girlfriend, dude.
I mean, it's not really her jurisdiction. That's the problem.
The death gods do care about this, I guess.
I would plea to them.
Mhm.
And Cather would say, he would kind of kneel, and like he would have like kind of Ginger out, like kind of also like just sitting in his lap, and he would say, I know I have no right to ask anything of you, and I do not ask for any special treatment. I simply come before you three as what I am, just a man. You all once tasked me with protecting her, with protecting Melora, because she was supposed to live. and I failed in my duties. And I would simply ask that you would allow her to complete this journey back so that she might finish the life that she was supposed to have. And so that I might be able to meet once again my friend and perhaps understand why I fell in love with her. That's all.
Beautiful. Is there anything anybody else is going to be doing to encourage
What
us?
Cather says out loud or in his head?
I mean,
I would imagine you go off to kind of by yourself, right?
it would be, still nearby and like just in like a very quiet whisper, I guess.
Haven't they considered like doing some like there's probably some like minor deity that owes him a favor. Nothing of anything importance. It's like Dave, god of pharmacists.
We love
But
Dave.
it's like, that's a medical
Dave.
profession. But he'll overhear what Cather says and is reminded of a prayer that he once made that mirrors that almost exactly, and decides, if I say anything right now, I am going to make this irretrievably worse. So instead, I'm just going to focus my attention on what are all the other people doing? Is anything doing anything sus? That's what he's just going to focus on the matter at hand rather than been caught up on the time that he made that prayer and was left unanswered.
Yeah. You gotta distract the mind, we're like, that could lead down a very dark road and we're not going there today. So what's everybody else
not
doing?
today. Maybe in my dreams, but not today.
Go ahead and make a perception or insight check, whichever you prefer.
Pretty sure those are
And
the
I'll have
exact
something
same
after,
for
haven't
me.
they?
They are. Which would be more advantageous to me, DM?
Well, do you want to see what people are doing, or do you want to look for specific intentions?
I suppose specific intentions would be better for what I want.
Yeah, insight check then.
Are people being evil?
Grant, are you gonna sing a song for Melora?
No.
What can you see?
Yeah! Go DJ!
Hey, that's
That's
my
a
song.
No, I won't be,
strong
but I will do something
uh,
unexpected, I think.
18.
Okay. You look around, looking for, in general, kind of sus behavior.
Venting.
There's nothing in particularly suspect. It doesn't look to be, you don't see anybody who's looking to sabotage. There's nobody messing with the casket. There's nobody messing with the items. You see Adelar is preparing all the components that he needs and seems to be doing everything correctly as far as you can see. You can tell that there's a lot of tension. People are very nervous. There's a lot of excitement and anxiousness. Yes, that's a really good word for it. There's a lot of angst and anxiousness within
Anxiety
the temple.
is the word you're looking for.
What was that?
Anxiety, not angst. Those are two very different things.
No, but they're both present.
Oh, shoot. Who's got the angst?
It's
Kiamora is always angsty.
Kiamora.
But you notice particularly that Kiamora is extremely nervous. Wisteria is also extremely nervous, but it seems as though they're nervous for different reasons. You see that Wisteria deeply wants this to succeed for the repercussions of what this ritual could do, versus Kiamora, who deeply wants this ritual to succeed because he wants to bring Melora back. So they both are really wanting this to succeed, but it's for two different reasons. You can also tell that the members of the Order of the Chosen, the Knights of the Chosen, have a nervousness to them of, we're here because we don't know what's going to happen, and we don't want bad things to happen, but we're prepared to take care of things if that does. Adelar is cool, calm, and collected as he is when he's casting spells, because you kind of have to be kind of neutral to the weave and neutral to your emotions when casting spells such as this. And then all the guards seem to kind of be at a loss for what's actually happening.
With that insight check, can I tell if Adelar's warlock patron is Wisteria?
That's an excellent question. Let me figure out what patron is.
That's a spicy question right there.
That's a
Sorry,
spicy question right there. This is the one I'm looking for.
Repeat the question.
Well, we learned that because perhaps of a faux pas from I don't know if that's the right word, from DJ, that Adelar is a warlock. And so I'm trying to figure out who his patron is. And I'm wondering if his patron is Wisteria.
Ooh.
What can you say?
PogChamp.
The 20th level wizard is powerful enough to provide for
Patronage, yeah, 100%.
patronage to a 20th level warlock.
Well, she's probably not a 20th level wizard.
She might be a
She's
lich.
a 30th level wizard.
Well, we know she's not undead.
I know.
We know she's not a fiend. We know she's not. Well, we don't know
What if
she's not
she's
Fae.
just?
So if she
Is
is
she
a warlock
celestial?
patron,
Wait, is she a sorcerer?
You don't know
If-
what she is.
well, okay. So if she's a patron, that limits us to a couple of things, because we know celestial, fiend, undead. We know that those are out of the running. So she could be a kraken.
She could be
Oh,
a great old one.
Kraken.
Could be a
could be-
djinn.
A djinn.
What if she's?
Ooh,
What if she's a
maybe
mind
Jinn.
flayer, tricking us all?
She could be. Well, I doubt she's a mind flayer.
Well, mind flayer fits in with great old one. It's possible.
I
What
mean,
I'm saying.
You get the sense that Adelar is his patron is technically a celestial. You
Nice.
don't think that it's Wisteria.
that was a really fat insight check.
Can I segue to me?
Anything else you'd like to do, Adam?
No, I'm good.
Beautiful.
Also,
Edward, what do you
thank you, Handscape, for the gifted subs.
Oh my gosh, thanks,
Yo!
man.
Oh, hands 5 gifted. That's awfully generous
dang.
today for the sick episode.
She
Oh,
is
you
coming
guys.
after Raiden. She's coming for him
Oh
fast.
my gosh. Oh my gosh, you're right.
Just saying, hands. It
everybody
only takes
enjoy your
20 more.
emotes.
20, 26 more, and you're there. Just
Well,
saying.
27.
Congratulations to everyone who now has a sub. Welcome to the emote squad. Remember to take Handscape.
Good job, hands. We appreciate you coming to that.
Also,
number
Handscape,
spot.
thank you for last week.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So Abinthy also notices that Edward seems to be praying, which you've
What?
never seen Edward do before. Yeah.
Like Cather like gets done with his prayer and like looks over it, and Edward's sitting right
Edward's
next to him.
In tears.
Father God.
Not really, no. But Edward is going to have a conversation, quote unquote. It's probably going to be one-sided, but what's the name of the god who like basically did all the trial stuff?
Monantari,
she's-
the mother
yeah.
goddess, the mother of all creation.
Yes. And
Okay.
is Lanatari still around?
Wow,
She's not still around, but you're welcome to pray to her.
Who's
Edward
the-
is going big. You know,
Who-
go
who
big or
is
go
the-
home.
Who is the natural predecessor of Lanatari? Who'd care about what
Adaria.
Lanatari thinks?
So
Adaria?
yeah, so technically, the only successors to Lanantari are the twins,
The twins.
Lanantari or not Lanantari, Ceradol and Adaria. So they're going to be the two big ones. Adaria is one of the Death Domain gods as well. She's the prime deity of the Death Domain, while Adaria is Ceradol is the prime deity of the Life Domain. And
You could pray
they're-
Ceradol. You know, we got both the
Yeah,
sisters.
they're two sides of the same coin.
I'm going to pray to Ceradol.
The god of grandmas.
The god of grandmas. That's right.
Yeah.
As determined like 4 weeks ago or something.
She's awesome.
It's okay if this doesn't go anywhere, but Edward's just gonna This is what he says. Hello, Sarah Doll. I suppose you can hear me. I've never spoken with you before, but as you
And
can
on a
see,
first name basis.
as you can see, many of us are here from the order that serves Lanantari's wishes. And, well, the Fae has taken a lot from the world so far. And I think we can both agree that we don't want them to take more. And they've happened to take the life of Melora. Fantastic addition to the world and, well, part of my short family. Please, if it's something that you agree with, please help. And that's it.
Wait, make a religion check.
All right.
I don't suppose it could be a persuasion check.
Persuasion would be better for me.
How about performance?
I mean, I don't know.
We're not going to do performance.
He wasn't
I'm
really
going to stick with religion check for this particular
Okay.
That's good. That's good.
You know,
particular
that's
thing.
good. That's
Mostly
cool,
because
cool,
you're
cool.
not religious at all, and so this
Right.
is kind of along
Makes
those lines.
complete sense.
Versus
I'm
when you're
with you.
talking to someone that you know and you're trying to persuade them to a cause and stuff like that.
Yes, I'm with you. So that's a 17 religion.
Okay, that's pretty good. You lift up this prayer. And you can kind of sense, you just start saying some things and you're kind of like, this is probably a little casual for what I'm asking.
Absolutely. He is not on his knees. He's not doing any of the
Edward
prayer
is a
stuff.
Sigma male.
Stop that.
He's not bowing down to other people.
You know, it's not quite that. You know, it's just Edward's tendency and tone is like this. He's like
Yeah.
conversational. So there you have it. I get it.
But you lift up this prayer and in this place of devotion to any and all, with the power that you kind of feel and the rhythm of the weave, you sense divine eyes shift their attention. You're not quite sure how you know, but you can tell that she is watching.
Cool. Edward doesn't say anything else. He doesn't want to mess this up. He just keeps his little mouth shut. Maybe he plays a little pleasant tune and he keeps watching, I suppose.
Oh, happy.
And he gets more nervous. His heart starts pumping more. He's like, oh gosh, this is serious.
It's literally like the queen of the gods watching me.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Was this a mistake? What if this goes bad?
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
Sarah washed all my sins away. Oh, happy day.
You
Oh,
guys,
God. And then he plays the pleasant tune.
how.
Through the thrum of magic. He counter melodies and creates harmonies that none has ever heard.
beautiful.
I should have led with that.
Would you like to roll a performance check just for the sake
Do
of
it.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can Abinthy act as a backup choir?
Yes. Abinthy,
Do I
you
get
use
advantage?
prestidigitation to like make your voice echo and boom.
I
so
do.
it sounds like
I
a
have
whole
an
choir.
okay tenor.
Yeah,
Abinthy's
yeah.
like, I can help.
Do I get advantage then?
Cather will provide.
Because you're in this place and you can naturally feel the rhythm of the weave. Sure.
He will.
That's the only reason Abinthy can help at all.
Will also like provide like a nice baseline hum to go
Okay,
with it.
okay.
You know.
Carry us with that baritone, baby.
All right. How does a 22 do?
Oh.
You compose literal poetry.
It's
Yes,
definitely
exactly.
a
Halo
theme.
theme?
We've made that joke like 10 times.
When
It'll never
it turns out the
Mom
Weave is just
spaghetti.
a really big fan of Halo.
You
It's just
yeah,
the
exactly.
Cowboy Bebop theme.
You write Ave Maria without the lyrics, you know?
Bum, 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 bum. Do 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 do.
The Incredibles theme song. Yes. No, you begin to serenade those here with an incredible melody line. And you begin playing, and your fingers and your instrument, you play better than you ever had in your entire life. It's as if there's no effort needed. The subconscious rhythm, I like that you still have the tag on it.
Yeah.
But it's as if your subconscious manages to connect to the source of music itself, and you play that, but like 17,000 times better. This very much reminds me of in The Road to El Dorado with like Miguel playing the guitar.
No, but it's very soft and pretty, you know.
This still reminds me of
okay. Well,
that when he's in El Dorado.
It's pretty.
Skyward
It's slow.
Sword. Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. That is hilariously accurate, which is holy music in the game.
Beautiful.
He plays the up theme.
I don't remember how that goes, but I know it's emotional.
Oh, I can actually play that. Hold
no,
on.
No.
Ready? And then it keeps going.
You know, I love how all of that very much do not go with the background music that I currently have playing.
Enough on Edward's music.
You play the music. Cather, you lift up your prayers. Edward, you lift up your prayers. Ebanthy, you be the sneaky little guy that you are, and you just watch everybody else. Adelar sets up the last of his components, pulls out the book that has the spell written in it. And let me just make sure he has all the stuff.
Man,
Smoke
wouldn't
on
that
the
be
water
awkward?
plays in the background.
Gets halfway through the ritual.
He's like, oh,
Where did I
guys.
Hold
I
on.
forgot the newt eyes.
He's like patting his pants, like, where are
there's
they?
this root. There's this root that I need. I
need guano.
I got no
Does
roots,
anyone
but
have
my
guano?
home was
I
never on the
misplaced
ground.
my 500 gold piece value diamond.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I only brought the 200 value.
He's got it. He's doing good.
It's like, this isn't a diamond. It's a sapphire.
So
Dang
is
it.
Melora back?
Who's not the colorblind guy to get the gems?
I'm sorry.
You guys done?
I'm
We
sorry.
need to collect enough sticks to trade for the emeralds.
Did you just make a Minecraft reference?
Yeah, Minecraft villager trade.
He has all the components. He pulls out the spell. Abinthy, you and Wisteria go and join him up on the pedestal as basically backups to the spell. Kind of the premise is that if something were to go horribly wrong, this is the type of spell where you really don't want things to go wrong, because that's how temples explode. And so if something were to happen to Adelar, there's then you and Wisteria who could take over the spell if need be, to prevent it from going off the rails and something like that. So you guys are both up there, and you're also there to help him along, prevent him from getting to that point. And so you guys are active. It's very common with high-end rituals like this. You've done it many times.
Yeah. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
You're getting there. You're warming your way back up
One
to
day.
it. You know,
One day I'll be the one on the pedestal who might die.
Adelar begins speaking. He brings the oath bow over the casket, resting it in Melora's hands, and he begins casting the spell. This spell takes about 4 hours to cast in total. Wow. You all watch, and it seems to go by quickly, almost as if you find yourself in a hole in time where everything moves faster than it really is. But Alar begins casting the spell. The rhythm begins to you can really begin to feel the rhythm, and you feel as it adjusts and changes pace with the spell. Sometimes it speeds up and it moves faster and faster and faster before slowing down and relaxing and moving through, almost with a rhythm of life itself. through seasons of a quickened pace and seasons of slow, seasons of turmoil and strife, and seasons of growth and rest. Over the 4 hours, Adelar, Abinthy, and Wisteria cast the spell. In the meanwhile, the rest of you are not specifically bound to this spell. Is there anything you'd like to do in this brief interim?
Well,
That you certainly don't have to, but
Like bathroom break energy, or like
no, like
Edward's
there's
like,
a massive ritual.
"Woo-wee."
There's a whole wedding
Oh,
ceremony
man.
going on, but you guys aren't a part of the ceremony. You're just kind of
Yeah.
in the audience. So you're like, so are you bride or groom?
I think Edward would probably keep playing his up theme
yeah.
until
Catherine,
his fingers are tired, but he'll keep going, I suppose, for the sake of the ritual.
well, I was gonna say,
Playing with them.
if it so happens that Edward needs a break, Catherine can take over.
Whoa, for real? What do you play again? Or do you sing?
He,
Aw.
he sings-
Hearts of the
sings.
audience.
He sings. Yes, we do trade toe and toe. And Edward will kind of help with accompaniment from time to time, because in the same way that the spell will quicken and slow down, be happy at times, be more solemn at times, so does the music, right? And so I guess Edward will help accompany Catherine when he takes
Yeah,
over.
so-
But yeah,
so
I
like-
think they play hand in hand. I think that's cool.
Yeah, but then other than that, he would just be kind of holding Ginger close.
Beautiful.
And I would imagine it feels rather personal and spiritual, as
You
if they know
each-
what they're doing without communicating.
Yeah.
If any of you have been to a church service before, the spirit.
We
moves.
hold hands.
Edward
You-
starts speaking in tongues.
You each, it is interesting, you each have a almost religious experience here. Between the spells and the temple and everything, you do have maybe not an appreciation or an affinity to any specific god, but an understanding for why some might and why that devotion can provide immense structure to life. And while you may not specifically have any devotion to a god, the system itself has a place and an importance that you've never quite thought of in that way before. So just something to keep in mind. The 4 hours go by. Abinthy, you catch Adelar. You and Wisteria kind of catch Adelar as he kind of falls back from the effort of the spell.
In a
You
like
all-
we need to save this kind of way, or like,
no,
it's
like
over?
he finished the spell and is like
Oh man!
completely
Ah,
exhausted.
thank goodness.
You set him down before Abinthy, you're the first to see. You look over at Melora, and she's gone from an incredibly pale, lifeless, soulless body, just a husk of a person. Adelar finishes the spell, and you see a bit of rosiness enter her cheeks, a little bit of color. Yes, Drew?
I mean, it's not important if it isn't the case. Does she still have flowers in her hair?
A few flowers begin to blossom in her hair, and the faint smell of cinnamon rises from the coffin, rises from the casket. You watch as, for the first time, very easily, almost as if she was never gone at all, she takes a breath and breathes out, almost like she's sleeping. Extremely peaceful, extremely comforted. Before her eyes flutter open. Who are you? I apologize to Hannah and anybody else who ever can do a Scottish or Irish or any accent. I suck at these.
Her eyes flutter open. She says, "Didn't a fish?"
Dinner fish.
Abernathy would lean over and say, I think that's rather besides the point. Do you know who you are, my dear?
My name is Melora.
That's a good step. My name is Abernathy Tripowitz. You don't know me, but I come here with people who you may know. What's the last thing you remember? That's a very abrupt question, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
We were in a forest or a grove.
You said we. Who is we?
There was an elf, a moon elf named Cather, and a half elf named Edward. There was an orc, Thrak, and a high elf named Renaya. She was my friend. They were all my friends.
By the way, DJ, just saying, accent, doing great so far.
Thanks.
When you said grove, that hit me.
Yeah, that hit me. That, yeah. Question: do we hear or see like Melora, like from down where we are?
Everyone, there is a tension you can cut with a knife. Everybody is deathly silent.
Yeah,
Nobody has
stun locked.
But you all see Abernathy in almost a grandfather-like deposition.
Yes, I am like leaning over on my cane.
Yeah. Talking to whatever's in the casket.
My dear.
If Cather sees that, he's going to let go of Ginger. As I imagine, she like quickly scurries up the steps towards the.
Yeah, she barrels her way up the steps.
As Ginger approaches, Abernathy will say, "You have been away for a while now, but those people you were with, they are here for the most part, and they would love to see you. Come on, sit up. I'm sure you could use, you could stand to use those muscles. They've been out of use for a while."
She almost like very much like a person coming out of a coma who hasn't used their body in 8 years. She flexes her fingers and her wrists and moves her body before kind of grabbing the edges and pulling herself up. She sits up. At this point, Ginger like jumps at her and she catches her. Ginger, oh, how I've missed you. And she begins to hold Ginger close to her chest as Ginger goes and plays in her hair and around her ears and kind of rustles around before kind of like giving playful nips at the chin and the jaw as she very much snuggles into Melora. Melora then looks out past you, Abernathy, towards you all, towards Cather and Edward and Renaya, before smiling and saying, "Hello. I have missed you all."
Cather, very, very quickly jaunts up there.
Yeah, let me.
And
try
and maybe like
stand.
when he does get up there,
Empathy
he
will help her out.
surprising
She's-
even himself will actually like just immediately like pull her into a hug.
Oh,
And squeeze maybe just a little too hard.
oh,
This relationship thing's gonna be real awkward.
True.
hello, Catherine.
Before like
You pull
go
back
and-
before she grabs either side of your face. I have missed you so much. And she will go ahead and kiss you.
Oh snap!
Whoa.
Abinthy will survey for threats.
As she kisses him, she
Whoa.
stabs him in the chest with a dagger.
Fritz.
She pulls back, and you can see that there's tears streaming down her face at this point. Before she pulls back, she smiles before noticing you, Edward. Edward,
And Edward he'll slowly walk towards her, tears in his eyes.
she steps forward and immediately pulls you into a
His
hug.
Okay, and he accepts a hug, and he steps back after and just looks at her. Is it really you? Are you real? Do you remember me?
You are
remember-
Edward. You're my cousin.
So we are
Pull them
cousins.
into a kiss.
A little kiss on the cheek, keep it platonic.
I knew all along that we were.
Wait, did you not know that? I'm sorry.
It was unclear.
It's
I
hard
knew
to
deep down.
remember what
I'm pretty
people
sure
do and
it was
Almost
no.
like it
And
was an afterthought of a character trait or something.
almost like it was an afterthought of a character trait. Is that what you said?
Edward says, I don't know what to say. I don't know where to begin. It's been years, Melora. I've missed you.
years. What happened to me? The last thing I remember is, and you can kind of see she actually like winces as she holds her stomach, reminiscent of the blade that pierced through her as Zestaria took her.
Edward places a hand on her shoulder and says, let's not think about that now. This is happy. You're back. We didn't know if this would work, and we're all very grateful to you and the gods. And everyone here, all of us, here for you.
Thank
This
you.
is as much for you as it is for us.
Abinthy, you're looking around, right?
Yes, his head is on a swivel.
You don't see anything totally suspect. It's not like someone's coming at anybody with a knife, but you do notice that Mysteria and Adelar they're giddy, it's their brainchild worked. They created Microsoft, they built the iPhone, they're ecstatic. And they're trying to be respectful, but you can also tell they are extremely happy and pleased and satisfied. You also notice that the three members of the Order of the Chosen, Evelyn, Vivian, and Mustafa, are like hushed whispering to themselves as you can quickly tell that they are making plans as well.
We've
Is
opened
Abinthy able to
the
do a
can of
quick,
worms.
Yeah.
like medical, but like arcana? Basically, I want to do an arcana biopsy. To
Okay.
see like, has the soul bonded correctly?
Mhm, mhm.
Do I think that this is a permanent effect? Because it would be real awkward if this wore off in like a month.
Yeah.
Like, has everything actually succeeded, or does it just look like that?
Go ahead and make a
I will, while he's doing that, I
go ahead
will
and make an arcana check.
I
Yeah.
will do a divine sense as well.
Okay, go ahead and do divine sense.
What does he
Edward
detect? He just
won't.
does that.
You do just do that. She is human. Or not human, but she's humanoid.
Yeah. She doesn't like come across as like an undead or something.
No.
That'll be a 28 for the arcana.
As she's talking, she goes and she says hi to Renaya, which I will allow us to do when Lydia's actually here. But she goes and she talks with Renaya and the three of you. She asks about Tarak. You all cry.
Abinthy's awkward.
Abinthy, you're kind of she's not really paying attention a whole lot to you.
I have
but you're
like
kinda,
one
looking
arm
at her hair,
and I'm like
giving a couple
examining. I'm
pumps.
like,
Yeah,
does the cinnamon smell normal? Is that an after effect?
yeah. You're
is
looking
that
at the
a
flowers in
symptom?
the hair.
Most people don't grow flowers.
That's normal for her.
Oh, that's
you-
good.
They laugh, they cry.
As far as you can tell, she seems to be healthy, strong. It seems as if the soul has bonded well. Only time will tell on if there's stipulations to it. This is the first of something like this ever happening, and so there are certain things that the only way to know about is to just see what happens. And so, as far as you can tell from your professional opinion, this seems to have worked exactly as intended.
I'd imagine they'd also explain to Melora kind of what just happened. They're probably asking her questions and stuff, right?
Yeah, she's
I'd
asking a
imagine
lot of
that'd be a
questions.
little overwhelming.
Yeah, I was
well, not
gonna
just
say-
her.
I
I bet
imagine-
they're
I
asking
imagine
her
we have-
questions. And
Yeah, we've like helped her
She's
out
like
of
a
the
science
casket
experiment.
and like probably like gone down away from the altar and just kind of all sat to
Mhm.
kind of catch up on what's.
But then I'd imagine they'd be like, doing, how did this go? Asking her questions. It's probably a little weird, right? From Laura, they're probably like little science lab people, like treating her like a little experiment. I'd imagine. Is that not happening at all?
Yeah, there are definitely, like, Adelar at this point has gone over and begun kind of basically doing the same thing that Abinthy was doing, for the most part, just checking over everything, making sure it's okay. Wisteria has gone up to the casket and is looking over the casket and the bow and the crystal and the soul cage, trying to see what is salvageable, what's repairable, if this is something that, can these things be reused, or you have to have a new item each time, those type of things. They're very much going at it from a very academic standpoint of they've gone through and they've written down all the variables, they've done the experiment, and now they're trying to write down every single thing that happened, as much detail as possible. They're trying to understand anything and everything that could be important. Because Lydia is not here, we are going to go ahead and end tonight's episode right here.
Holy crap.
3 hours in. I know it's a little bit shorter, but I really don't
cliffhanger.
want to go through you guys having this major conversation with Melora and all that type of stuff without her.
Totally fair. I agree. Oh, my heart. I
So
was about to cry.
she's
I had
back.
tears in my eyes.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm very sorry that it's a shorter episode, but we really do want to make sure that Lydia gets to be a part of this as well.
We're a person down. Grant and I are sick.
Yeah, plus we got a
He's
couple
always
sickos.
sick, bro.
So thank you guys so much for watching.
It feels like
Sorry
I've
to
gone
kind
on
of
a
cut
hot
off
air balloon.
so suddenly.
Wow,
but
dude.
Good
I
job.
didn't expect
guys.
that to work.
Yeah, you guys did
Same.
great.
I thought for sure someone was going to do some nonsense.
I thought for sure
I'm
we'd
not
fight, like,
always
Dark
out to hurt you
Melora or
guys.
something. But
That's a
okay,
lie.
I do want to point out before it ends, the language that the language that DJ was using, like, time will tell. It seems everything is fine. That's a little concerning.
Not
But
because
this is a
TJ's always
happy
out to hurt
moment.
us.
This is a happy moment.
Not for Abinthy. Abinthy out here, he's like, nah, something's going wrong. Next episode, things are going down.
We
Anyway.
will see, I guess.
Jeez. Thanks everybody
We'll talk
for
about it
watching
more
today.
on
And
Thursday at
thanks for the
1:30 p.m.
Patreoneers.
Actually, wait, no, it's Thanksgiving.
catch some stuff happening on Patreon, and also thank you for the gifted Hans and everybody's support, all our subs and all that stuff. Thank you so much.
There will be
Appreciate it.
no table scraps this Thursday.
That's literally Thanksgiving.
Although,
Let's go.
now,
So
Aaron,
that's awesome. You guys get to you had this episode, and then you don't even get to
Yeah.
talk about it on
Yeah.
stream. We're just gonna jump into the
Oh.
next episode.
I mean,
How
Aaron,
is that?
a proposition could be to do it on a different day.
I don't have any other time.
Check the
That's a shame.
Discord.
It's Black Friday. week,
Probably
dude.
won't happen.
That's fair.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Good job to my players. Thank you guys for being awesome. Lydia, we hope that you come back soon. We missed you. We hope that you're feeling a little bit better.
Come back.
Thank you. Yes, please come back. We're too chaotic without you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here throughout the whole time. Thank you for staying through the break. We love you guys. We're happy you're here. We appreciate you guys. Have a great night. good luck, and Godspeed, Dungeoneers. We will see you next week to go over everything that just happened.
Have a great night, everyone.